Yeah,
sorry guys.
11 minutes late. Whoopsie.
Sorry.
We know who to blame. But 11 minutes late. We're gonna start with super chats because we're just really that good of a show when he's not here. Realist123 said Players' Choice episode from the 18th of October titled ESPN's Top 100 NBA Players List Sucks. Minute 18:59. Thank you.
Realist, have you ever seen a list? I don't care what it is, whether it's top 10 players all time, whether it's top 10 players in the game today, top 5 point guards in the league, top 5 power forwards, top 10 teams. Have you seen a list where you just was like, this is perfect? I don't think you have. So no matter what list it is, it's gonna suck according to you. So you one of them, you one of them people that we can't keep happy.
Realist, I was good. That was just him saying that he sent a super chat preseason talking about how Dalton Knecht is going to start for the Lakers. I had to watch the segment to see what he was talking about. He's basically just saying I told you so. Because Swiper then said that anytime the Lakers have a competent white player, they end up overrating him and acting like he's the second coming or something crazy. So that was just him basically saying that, hey, I told you guys from before the season started, Dalton Knecht going to start. So shout out to you, Realist. Your little victory laps are going great. We are going to talk about Dalton Knecht, but we do have more pressing things to talk about. Like 33-9 super chat. He said, what was that, Ron? You got to stop talking down on Al Horford, putting up 20 points, locking up Darius Garland and Mobley. When are you going to learn? I'm going to leave this one to Ox. Ox, you have anything to say about it?
They're never going to learn, Morris. They're never going to learn. They're going to keep underrating Al Horford like they've done his whole career. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer for a reason.
On the topic of that game, because we are talking about Al Horford.
Sure.
I'm going to go to Chill because he's the Cavs and Celtics fan. What was your reactions to that game? The Celtics obviously won by 3 points.
Well, the first thing, Ox, is yesterday we had a conversation about picking on Al Horford and going after the weak link in the defense, which, in all fairness, it wasn't Al Horford. It was Kata, actually, who was the weak link in the defense. It was not Al Horford. I'm thinking, let's get Al Horford in switches, which we actually did. We got Al Horford in switches. We got Al Horford switched on to Darius Garland. We got Al Horford switched on to Donovan Mitchell. Well, that didn't work. And on the flip side to that, they did the same thing where they got Al Horford in switch action, where they got Al Horford to get around the rim. They got Al Horford finishing around the rim. And that actually worked. Now, I have to apologize because I had the right idea. I just had the wrong guy. That was the problem. The Celtics being the switch-heavy team that they are, and I said this to you guys yesterday, being the switch-heavy team that they are, you could get mismatches. The matchup that I liked the most last night was them consistently with Donovan Mitchell getting switched on to Kata. Kata getting switched on to Donovan Mitchell. You got to take advantage of that matchup on the regular. And also them getting Evan Mobley around the rim. I thought the Cavs did a good job early of running and getting Mobley at the rim. I thought the problem was that they didn't keep that up. The biggest problem that they had last night was guarding the long ball line, which they aren't very good at guarding the long ball line. Even though the Cavs are a damn good defensive team, I think they right outside the top 5 overall in defense, but they didn't do a good job guarding the long ball line. Now, some people will say the Celtics, they didn't shoot the ball well in the second half. It wasn't because of the defense. They were getting the same looks that they were getting in the first half. It's just that I believe the term that Mars uses is variance. So it varies from time to time. We're getting the same looks. They're just missing them. They're not in rhythm. And because of that, when you're that heavy of a long ball shooting team, you're not going to shoot 60% for the game. If you're going to shoot 60% for the game at the long ball line, you're probably going to blow teams out, which they were doing. And then it stopped. So
why does it seem like when they did find the mismatch they wanted, which, like as you already said, was Kata, why did it seem like the Celtics were just fine with that, though? Why did it seem like the Celtics just were okay with the switch, just let Donovan cook? It turned out to be very dangerous. They brought the game all the way back, and I'm looking at it like, y'all might lose this game because you're just allowing him to get baked. There was a possession that on playback last night that me and Ron did. I was furious. I mean, I was so upset. I could not believe how mad I was when they got Donovan Mitchell switched on the Kata at the top of the key. I'm talking about 2 steps outside the 3. Peyton Pritchard is on this wing guarding somebody. Jayson Tatum is down on the baseline guarding somebody. Donovan Mitchell just walks around, Kata. I'm telling you, Peyton Pritchard didn't even reach in, like which is bad defense. If you reach in, you're supposed to move your body to get in front of the driver, but he doesn't even reach over. He just looks. Jayson Tatum does the same. Doesn't even, and that's the play when Donovan Mitchell tried to dunk on Kata. When he got such a free runway that he was able to take the dribble, gather, explode, and try to put him on a poster. And Jayson Tatum and Peyton Pritchard just watching. So why are they so comfortable with things like that?
Well, first of all, we live in a really versatile league. That's why we got positionless all league defensive teams, because these guys should be able to guard on every level. They should be able to guard on the perimeter. They should be able to guard at the rim. They should be able to guard in the paint. So the reason why they're comfortable with that is exactly that. They feel comfortable with Kata being a versatile defender and being able to guard Donovan Mitchell. Also, I also think that they're looking at it from the aspect of, is Donovan Mitchell better than the rest of us? Can we slow down the rest of these guys? Can we slow down Evan Mobley? Can we slow down Jared Allen? Well, we'll eat that production from Donovan Mitchell. And the rest of us, we can slow the rest of these guys down. And with Jayson Tatum, him getting busy, with Jaylen Brown being able to slow down, whether it's Ty Jerome, whether it's Darius Garland, if we can slow these guys down, whatever Donovan Mitchell is doing, just try to make it difficult on him. Even though they didn't make it as difficult on him with Kata switched on to him, make it difficult on him. But the rest of us offensively and defensively, we can handle the rest of these guys. That's why they were the most comfortable with that.
That's fair.
I think Boston just have principles they stick to, and they don't really go away from it regardless of how the game's going. I think that's a double-edged sword. You got games where you might lose because you're choosing to stick to your beliefs, and sometimes they can just outshoot you or outwork you in the areas that you're willing to live with. But I think over the course, I think what they're betting on, and Missoula I'm talking about, is that a team's not going to beat them 4 times if they stick to their principles and they execute their principles well. It's similar to when I sent into the chat about Daryl Morey, when he said he would come into Tom Fertitter's office and say, I know we lost the game, but based on the analytics, we won the game. Like, it's like, I think that's the principle they're going with, where they might lose a battle, but ultimately they're going to win the war in their heads because they're sticking to their principles, and statistically they're still going to have the better chance of winning 4 times in 7 games because of what they do. Like, they don't give up corner threes, they don't help off the corners. They give up the least amount of corner threes in the NBA. I'm pretty sure they give up the least amount of threes in general, and that's because they don't overhelp. So they're willing to concede switches and isolations with their bigs, who probably aren't as competent out there. But that's at the expense of not giving up threes, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to control the 3-point battle better than anyone in the NBA. We know they shoot the most, but they also give up the least.
I was about to say it too, Mars.
If they're shooting 50, if they're shooting 50 and the other team's shooting 30, they're willing to bet that 23-point cushion is enough to offset the fact that they're giving up switches with lesser defenders on the perimeter, as long as it's getting them no threes in the process. So do I agree with that with how they're doing it? I don't know. But I think it's cool that they're trying something new. But I do think they're going to lose games. They'll lose a random game to a team that gets hot on the right night, or they have an elite isolation scorer. So that's why I get concerned. Like, I mean, we can talk about OKC a bit because they're struggling right now without Chet. But that's why I get concerned about a team like OKC who have an elite isolation scorer. Because, like, if someone is that dangerous in the middle of the floor, which is where they seem to let people go, and they don't help off the corners or they don't shrink the floor, they could lose a series to that one person doing ridiculous things, and they might have to compromise their principles. Because if they're going to let Shea just have the middle of the floor to work with, I'm using Shea as the example, but if they're going to let Shea have the middle of the floor to work with, there's a possibility that he's so good in the middle of the floor, you're going to have to abandon your principles to slow him down. Sure. But maybe they won't, and maybe they will let Shea average 200 points. I don't know, but like, it's possible.
Mars, that you have to, Mars, because the thing is, they're not going to see Shea. They're not going to make
the NBA championship.
Them Cavaliers are going to beat the Celtics if they play like that. Darius Garland is not going to go 3 for 21.
That was bad.
To be honest with you, Ox, wait a minute. I'm not saying 3 for 21. I'm not saying 3 for 21, but I do think that they can continue to slow him down. especially with the switching that they did, right? Especially, I was wrong about Al Horford. I was wrong about Al Horford in the sense. I was wrong about Al Horford in the sense that getting him switched on to Darius Garland. Darius Garland did what you're supposed to do with a big. I got a big guy on an island. I'm not letting him off the hook with a 22-footer. Go after him and take him to the rim. What we forget is Al Horford is 38, but he really like 32, if we being honest. Yeah,
Either reverse Joel Embiid.
He's really like 30. He's really like 32. And on any given night, I can still give you the sliding of the feet, the Atlanta Hawks Al Horford. I can still give you that, which he did last night. And to your point, Mars, when you talk about a guy basically taking over a series, how many guys have we seen take over a series and win it? And when I don't mean the first round. I'm talking about when we get deep into the playoffs. Now, when it's a mental thing, when you're tired, when you're beat up, how many guys have we seen take over a series and win a series? We're talking about all-time greats now. We're talking about Shaq. We're talking about Bryant. We're talking about Chamberlain, right? We're talking about doing something like that. And the Celtics, they look at, to your point, they're looking at these other teams like, if this guy's going to average 50 against us, we'll live with that. But I don't think you can do that. But I think that we could keep doing what we're doing more than this guy continuing to average 50 or this guy continuing to average 35 or 40. I think we can do more of what we do. And again, when we talk about the Cavs guarding at the long ball line, okay, they're one of the worst. They're one of the worst teams guarding at the long ball line. Remember, the disparity last night was the Celtics made 10 more threes than the Cavs did. 10 more. And I think they shot 20 more. On top of that, the Cavs foul a lot, so they got to the strike more. So in a series where 4 times in a week you got to continuously do that, I'm betting on that you can't do it.
They're playing the law of averages. That's really what they're doing. They're playing the law of averages.
That's exactly what they're doing.
It's a very mathematical game they're playing, and it seems to be working. And I think it probably will continue to work. And it's come to my attention that people don't seem to like that I try to be different. So I am going to say I still don't care. I'm going to be different. But I do think that this strategy does run the risk of, if you were to run up against, theoretically, a fully healthy Joel Embiid, I genuinely think that if that was the case, he could be able to single-handedly per se win that series.
Joel Embiid
based on how they defend. Based on how they defend, I genuinely think a Joel Embiid, a Shea, a Jokic, those are the answers to what
he could beat us. He could beat us by himself, is what you're saying.
Not really. Like, I don't think anyone really wins by themselves, but like as close to it as possible.
Let me rephrase that. He can take the series over. How about that?
Yes, and I'm not saying he would. I'm saying his skill set is what Boston are willing to live with, and I think a player like Joel Embiid is good enough when healthy to where you can lose because you are willing to live with what he does in the middle of the floor. That's what I'm saying. And I think Jokic is the same. I think Shea could be that level of player. And then I think those are probably the 3 I'd definitely settle on. I'm not saying they would do it. I'm saying I think they have to. Just based on where they operate.
Don't let them sway you at all, because if you don't see the game the same way that they see it, they'll call you a contrarian. They'll say you're trying to be different. They'll say you're clip farming. So don't worry about any of that stuff, because the way that if we shoot more threes, y'all just let them cook. That is gonna get you popped. I'm telling you, that is gonna get you popped. The Cavaliers would have won last night if Darius Garland would have just played a little better.
Are they still playing the same way though, Ox? This is what I'm saying. Okay, so I saw Jayson Tatum go to the rim a little bit more last night than he did in the past, right? And the reason why he did that was because they started guarding the long ball line a little bit more. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that Darius Garland plays a little bit better. And I ain't even talking about the 3 for 21, right? Let's say that he's a better ball. He takes care of the ball a little bit better. I think he had three or 4 turnovers yesterday, on top of him not being able to shoot the ball. So in addition to that, so if he plays a little bit better, what do the Celtics do different? Like, because you talk about, because they don't stop shooting the long ball. Let's be clear about that. They don't stop shooting the long ball. They don't stop mismatch hunting, because they do that also. Just like with them switching, the Celtics also mismatch hunt too. So if Darius Garland plays a little bit better, you can get. I feel like you can get popped in the game. But what happens if Darius Garland plays better? What happens to the Celtics?
They lose.
So there's nothing
Like,
they can do differently.
They
basically?
can make some adjustments, but they got to on the defensive end. Like to Mars's point, they're just trying to guard the 3-point line and shoot more threes. Like that strategy is cool, I guess. But I'm more so talking about in a 7-game series.
Sure.
I'm more so talking about a 7-game series. I just don't think that that's a recipe for success. Because if they're just giving up whatever you want, whatever mismatch you want. But we've seen Donovan Mitchell go band for band with everybody. Like Donovan Mitchell can carry two games in the series. Donovan Mitchell can carry.
He went band for band with the Celtics last year.
Right.
Until he got hurt.
I like how Evan Mobley played last night. I was liking that. I think in a 7-game series, I honestly think Evan Mobley can get the better of Al Horford if he's going at him, if he's attacking him, if he's being aggressive on the offensive glass. Now, mind you, Porzingis wasn't there too, so let's not forget that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I do want to put some respect on KP. I'm just saying, from what I saw last night from the Celtics, I don't think that's a recipe for success when everybody's healthy.
Now flip that around, Ox, because you just mentioned KP wasn't there. So the Cavs, no Okoro last night.
None of that wings. Their whole wing depth was gone.
Right. No Max Strus. Right. No Okoro, no Max Strus, no Dean Wade. Yeah, and no Karis LeVert. So all 4 of those guys are going too.
No Money Bates.
Right. So now as a coach, Ox, you got to change your strategy because you don't have any of your rotation guys.
Right. But to your point a minute ago, I'm not sure exactly what Joe Mazzulla does, but that's my point. Like I think you would have to do something different than the game plan he came with last night. And to Mars's point, he's saying that's what they're living with. And I'm okay with living and dying with your strategy, but I also feel like you have to make changes. I think that's a stubborn way to coach, and I think I don't care too much for that stubbornness in a coach. Like if this team is fully healthy, I'm talking about the Cavs. If the Cavs are fully healthy, and Darius Garland's having a better game, I don't think there's that big of a gap to start with, and I think they're more concerned coming down the third, fourth quarter to where they would have to switch up that style. You can't just let Kata, you can't let him, you can't let Cornette, you can't let some of these guys just get picked on. Like, and that's the thing. Al Horford wasn't going for it. Now imagine if Al Horford is playing like a 38-year-old instead of a 32-year-old. He's going to be getting abused by Darius Garland. You know what I mean? Now, so we can't just watch that.
Now, with that being said, I mean, I think Joe Mazzulla is one of the better adjusters in the game. I do think that I think he knows how to rotate guys. But I mean, last night he stuck with Kata, and it's early in the season. He's one of those. Joe Mazzulla is one of those guys. I remember watching last year when they played against Sacramento, and I think they were up 15. They were up against your boys 15, and I think he took the whole starting lineup out, and he let Pritchard and Tillman and Cornette, he let them finish the game, and you guys got back in the game, and he let them finish the game. I feel like he let them do it as an experiment. Okay, let's see what these guys look like when we get in a dogfight. How do these dudes handle it? Well, I think the same attitude goes for guys like Kata, because again, Ox, we're not talking about when we're a switch heavy team, everybody getting roasted. I mean, I feel like Jaylen Brown, he's going to get switched on to Donovan Mitchell, and he's going to have to handle him. Jayson Tatum is going to get switched on to Donovan Mitchell. Sure, Cleveland is going to do everything that they can to attack Kata and get that mismatch, but we're not going to let that happen every time. Sure, that's going to happen sometimes because we're a switch-heavy team, but we're not going to let that happen every time. That's the job of your defense, especially on the perimeter, to protect your guys, right? Just like we talked about with Al Horford. That's your job to protect Al Horford on some level. Sure, he looked like a 32-year-old last night. Is he going to look like that 4 games in a 7-game series? No. So we will, on some level, go after him. But what I'm thinking about from a scheme standpoint, we're still going to switch, but we have to be careful in terms of rotations. We got to be careful on how we switch. Does that mean that Kata got to come off the floor now? No, Kata doesn't have to come off the floor. And Knox, to your point, you can get around the screen. We don't have to switch everything. You could get around screens. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. I didn't know that was a thing where, okay, now we just got to switch everything and we can't get around screens. No, with Drew Holiday, with Jaylen Brown, with Jayson Tatum, and Derek White, sure, those guys are interchangeable. But if I got Al Horford in a pick and roll, big fella, I'm chasing. We don't have to switch. If I'm covering Darius Garland, especially if Darius Garland gets to cooking, we do know how to cover we do know how to cover pick and roll, and Al Horford
Right.
showing and getting back.
Right.
I think I'm gonna move on to super chats after this. I
Sure.
think Boston do adjust. They just don't adjust they adjust while sticking with their principles, if that makes sense. Like they'll change how they do things,
Mhm.
but they won't compromise their overarching goal, which is limit the threes, no corner threes in particular. Because I vaguely remember, I couldn't tell you the game or the quarter, but I vaguely remember in the finals where I think it may have been Derek White. Derek White helped too hard off the corner one time. They gave up a corner three. Joe Mazzulla called the quickest timeout I've ever seen. It was the moment the ball touched the net, timeout instantly. I was like, okay, so you're not allowed to do that. We're just not allowed to do that. So I think they're going to do that. But we spoke about Jayson Tatum guarding bigs, for example. Like that's an adjustment that sticks to their principles. Is so that the big is guarding someone who's not as good of a screener. So if you are going to bring the big into the action to get the switch, you have a worse screener so that we can now get through the screen, as opposed to having Derek Lively set the screen with the big that you kind of have to switch because he's a real good screener. You have to actually get around his body. Whereas if it's Josh Green setting the screen, it's like, I don't have to switch this. Like, I'm just go right by you, Josh Green. Like, I'm sorry. So that's how he negates having to switch his bigs, is because he just has the bigs on worse screeners. Or he can just pre-switch, where if Josh Green's coming up to set the screen, Al Horford or Cater will point to the closest man on the wing, tell him to get him so that he can't screen, and that forces Dallas to have to set double screens and all those things. It just basically makes their offense harder. So like that's how he would adjust without giving up his principles. He's not going to oversend help to then adjust to what someone's doing. He's just going to change the matchups a little bit, to change their coverages, but stick to not giving up threes. So I think Joe Mazzulla is a really smart person. No, that's what I think. Joe Mazzulla is really smart, and I'm interested to see how it goes in playoffs.
I do. I think we got to give him more credit as a coach, because sure, again, we are a switch heavy team, and we do have to get as much action as we possibly can get on defense. But you still got to play defense at the end of the day. Jayson Tatum still has to play defense. Jaylen Brown still has to play defense. Drew Holiday, Derek White, these guys still got to play defense. I can appreciate getting Cater switched on to action. I don't think that if Donovan Mitchell goes for like 15 straight points, that Joe Mazzulla is just going to let that continue. No, we have to do something about this. But we still can stick to what we're doing. We can still stick to switching. I just don't want that switch anymore. We can still switch. We can still stick to it.
Yeah. I had Mazzulla as the third best coach in the NBA, and I think I may have been still too low on him. I had Nick Nurse above him. He's probably better than Nick Nurse. I'm not gonna lie. So
in Philly though, Mars. I think
it is, but like I'm not holding it against Nick Nurse that they're 2-12 or whatever. I just think Mazzulla might just be better than him. I think I was giving Nurse the edge because of the tenure and longevity and what he's done. But every time I watch Joe Mazzulla, I'm impressed.
Would it be the personnel that Mazzulla has? If
that makes his life easier for sure. That for sure makes his life easier. But I just 100%. Think every time I watch like a Boston game or just Joe Mazzulla in general, like I'm impressed. Even if like they lose and it doesn't work, it's like I just like sticking to your philosophy, and B, like how he treats his personnel. Like you bringing up how he let his second unit or third unit close the game, and even when the game got close, he stuck with it. Like those type of things. I think that's kind of cool. So so I might have been a bit low on him, but I think top 3. I think he has to be top 3. But
I want to make sure before we go any further, I want to make sure, Mars, that because I didn't say anything about this previously, this is how you start another winning streak. I mean, are the Cavs going to win 15 straight games again? No, I don't think so. No, that's not going to happen. But this is a measuring stick, because now we got the question, okay, Cavs smoked the Warriors. Warriors beat the Celtics. Celtics beat the Cavs. So
the Warriors are the best team in the league. Okay.
Like who's the best team in the league right now, right? But with that being said,
not the Warriors,
right?
But then James Harden beat the Warriors,
and then James Harden beat the Warriors. Then they beat them twice, if I'm not mistaken. I think they beat the Warriors twice. I know they beat them once.
They definitely beat them once. I already can't remember what's been going on.
I think they beat them twice. But with that being said, I still think Cleveland. I had them as the third. I had them as a top 3 seed. I had their ceiling of them being in the conference finals at best, and I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. I like this team. I like where they're going. I think they're going to get better. They missed all their wings yesterday, and they'll be back. 100% they'll be back. Now they got to see Atlanta, so it's going to be a real test for their defense, because Dyson Daniels looked like Dyson Daniels looks like he's turning into one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, and this is going to be a real test for Cleveland coming up. But with that being said, I mean, they could. I do remember vividly somebody putting me on to Dyson Daniels, and I wasn't. And again, Mars, I wasn't paying attention to Dyson Daniels because I'm wrapped up in Herb Jones, so I can't pay attention to Dyson Daniels. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the best perimeter defender in the game, in my estimation, at that point. Meanwhile, you got another dude over there who I got Sidney Moncrief on the team, but Alvin Robinson is running with him. I'm sorry, I ain't paying attention to Alvin Robinson because I'm wrapped up on Sidney Moncrief over here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
The Clippers did beat the Warriors twice, so
they did, okay.
But the Rockets beat the Clippers twice, so you know what that means.
Just saying. See what I started.
But let me get into some super chats, and I see the people are very eager to talk about a certain Lakers team, so we'll get into that. But before that, we got Tyron Winston becoming a YouTube member. Shout out to you, Tyron Winston.
Fly Ty, what up, brother?
I'm gonna pick the super chats that pertain to the topic we were just on because that makes the most sense, other than reading them by price. Because why would I move all the way on to 2 hours later then bring back the Cavs game? So D9 said, don't forget the Cavs missing Okoro / Strus wing shooting plus Karis LeVert. They missed all of their wings. So like we kind of every single George Niang was playing a lot of minutes. Sam Merrill was playing on the wing. It wasn't a great showing in terms of the depth they had, but still shout out to Boston for winning without KP. Steve Taylor said Garland hasn't been good versus Boston in 2 years.
He broke his jaw last year in Boston.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold that too much against him personally, but I do think there is some sort of matchup issues with Darius Garland. But this comes back to my issue of their backcourt. I still think they're too small. I still think they're too small.
On that small backcourt thing, man.
I think they're really good. I just think when you have 2 6'1" guards in your backcourt, I have a hard time seeing how that doesn't get picked apart in the postseason. I have a really hard time seeing it.
But it does 100%. It does. But you have protection though, right? You got a switchable big in Evan Mobley. I mean, I'm watching Mobley last night. He's all over the place.
But you can't switch your 6'1" guards because then you have him on a mismatch somewhere else. It's not like, oh, we switch him and then he's away from the play because, like, let's say Evan Mobley's guarding Jayson Tatum, and Darius Garland is guarding Derek White, for example. Sure. Derek White himself could take advantage of Darius Garland. I saw him do it last night and get like an animal. So he could do that. But then if you switch that screen with Derek White and Jayson Tatum to get to get Darius Garland off of Derek White, you now have Darius Garland on Jayson Tatum. And then you're going to have to send a double somewhere. No matter where Darius Garland is in this series in particular against Boston, they are going to have to send help. And the moment you send help against Boston, you're playing into their hands.
Sure.
That's why I think it's hard to get away with the 2 small players in the backcourt. And I think Donovan Mitchell is actually a pretty good defender. I just still think his size is going to be a problem. And not I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying if I was a betting man, I would favor Boston because of that.
Well, we just got finished talking about the numbers, Mars, and you just told me about how the Celtics are basically playing the odds. Well, if I'm switching Darius Garland on to Jayson Tatum, I'm going to play the odds. And the reason why I'm going to play the odds because I know he wants to live behind that long ball line. And I know he's going to let me off the hook. I do know that for a fact that he's going to let me off the hook with that long ball more times than he's going to attack me going to the rim. So when you're talking about a mismatch, a 6'1" guard in particular, what's one of the ways that you can attack him? Drag his little ass down to that box and punish him. I know Jayson Tatum is not going to do that. What he's going to do more times than not is he's going to get behind that long ball line, which is by design, and he's going to let me off the hook. You know who else is going to do that? Jaylen Brown. One of 2 things is going to happen. Jaylen Brown is going to do that, and he's going to turn the basketball over. Ox, I'm sorry, but that handle is weak as hell. That handle is weak.
Yeah, sometimes, but Jaylen Brown's not gonna bail you out like Jayson Tatum is. I seen Jaylen Brown's taking you down there. Jaylen Brown's putting you in that torture chamber a lot more than Jayson Tatum is. I'm much more concerned with Darius guarding Jaylen Brown than I am with Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum's more likely to shoot that sidestep 3 ball, step back, all that. Where Jaylen's taking you down there.
And even if
no, go ahead.
Let's just say let's stay right there, Ox. But then we got guys like Derek White. Derek White is more of a catch and shoot guy. Derek White gets a lot of his shots in the flow of the offense. Derek White isn't a guy who they actually run action for. Now, can he get a bucket? Sure. But we could also switch up what we're doing too. We could switch up what we're doing in the aspect of going zone. And when we go zone and we got our quote unquote small guards at the top of the zone, We got our big guys in both Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to protect. Now, you might be playing into the Celtics' hands by shooting the long ball. 100%, you are playing into their hands by shooting the long ball. But what would I rather? What would I rather? Would I rather stay in the zone and spread the Celtics out where they're going to continue to shoot the long ball, and at some point that's going to die down, or do I want Darius Garland switched on to Drew Holiday, who basically plays like a four-man? I don't think that, and by the way, since we're on that subject, I don't think that the Cavs took advantage of Drew Holiday nearly as much as they should have. I mean, Drew Holiday's backing down Evan Mobley, and I almost threw up last night watching that. But anyway, that's something different. What would I rather? I would rather spread the Celtics out and make them shoot if they're going to shoot 50 threes, if they're going to shoot 55 threes, I'm going to play the odds more than I'm going to.
We're playing the math game.
I'm going to play because I think that's why we're here, right? I can't just go off of, it's just talent and I'm just going to out talent you. Well, no, I'm not going to do that because the Celtics I think the Celtics are more talented. So what do I have to, what am I going to go off of? I'm going off of the Celtics are a long ball shooting team. We're going to play zone from time. We ain't going to play zone all night. No, we're going to play zone from time to time. And we're going to see if we could get this Celtic team to shoot shots that'll throw them out of rhythm. And if we do that, now we can speed the game up and get more buckets with guys like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen rim running.
Yeah, the thing with them, honestly, when you're talking about that, I'm looking at like, okay, so how would I play them? Because to your point, you do got two small guards, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, how do I play the Celtics on defense to my advantage? And it's risky because you got to play into their hand. You got to play into their hand and kind of hope they miss a little bit on that
poison, Knox.
It's either that, or I'm just gonna have to live with Darius Garland guarding Jayson Tatum and just hope he keeps bailing them out, which I think he will. I don't think Jayson Tatum is gonna punish Darius Garland. I think Jayson Tatum,
then he's sadly enough, and I'm a Tatum guy, Ox. I don't think he will neither. I
don't think so. So I'm fine with this matchup in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm Coach Atkinson, I'm good with this lineup, and we just gonna see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stick to our guns, and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna play that, let them play basketball, and we're gonna see how it goes.
The thing that I wanted to say with the Celtics and Cavs game, the Cavs did pretty much everything you could. They won the offensive rebound battle, they won the turnover battle, they got to the free throw line more. But at the end of the day, the Celtics, when they're hot, like when you're shooting 50% from three on 41 3-point attempts, that's hard to beat. Like you can't ask the Cavs for a better game other than shooting the three. Like if they would have shot the three better, they probably would have won this game because it was close throughout the entire thing almost. Like we get to the second half and the Celtics get up 20, they start missing, the Cavs come back, and then they start making their shots again. I think the Cavs had a pretty good game.
I agree. Besides Darius Garland, but
yeah.
Shout to Darius Garland, man. I'm gonna stick with, once again, Superchats pertaining to this game so that we don't have to revisit it in 2 hours. Killer KVM with the members chat said the Celtics did have been shown.
Mm-hmm. The Celtics have shown.
You just added extra words for no reason. The Celtics been shown in the past changes, though, like we saw in the playoffs last year, where JT and JB guarded the big in pick and rolls to stop switches. Oh, yeah. We spoke about that. Thank you, Killer.
Yes, we did.
Appreciate it. Yeah. That's great. Classic said, I hope Tatum can make threes in the playoffs because his mid-range and finishing has been terrible this year. His mid-range has never really been good. And I think he's been good at the rim this year. Now,
I think he's been too.
Yeah, I don't know how much better you expect him to be at the rim. I think he's been pretty good at the rim this year. I don't have a problem with his finishing. The mid-range is always going to be something I have a problem with. He's just not very good in the mid-range. I think that's just who he is at this point.
And I've accepted that at this point, that who Jayson Tatum is in the mid-range. I mean, he can knock down a mid-range shot. Is he DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range? No, he ain't that good. No,
if he was, oh my God, if he was,
right.
He is taking less shots at the rim though, so I guess that could be seen as a problem. But like in terms of like what he does when he's there, I think he finishes well. So.
Which would explain why he's missing at the rim, Oz, because I'm watching him get to the rim and I see him blow layups where I'm thinking, one, that should be dunks, and two, the reason why he's blowing layups because I don't do it a lot. I'm at the long ball line all game. I was actually surprised to see him dunk the ball last night. because I'm so used to him being I'm so used to seeing him at the long ball line. It's become now a thing where when he gets to the rim and dunks, I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting this dude is 6'9". So, and let's not act like the I said this to you yesterday, Miles. Let's not act like the numbers. I mean, Jayson Tatum shoots 32% on the long ball line in the playoffs. That's who he is. That's him. So this is not going to turn into a 45 or 46% long ball shooter. No, he shoots 30 to 35% on the long ball line in the playoffs for his career. He's in year 8. That's not going to turn around.
It's concerning when 55% of his shots are threes, though. That's the concern.
Yeah, that's what makes it concerning.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see, because I don't know. We'll see. That's where I'm at. We'll see. Big MGM said Boston also do this to tire the star out late. That's how they almost came back 3-0 versus the Heat in 2023, and Luka wore out in the 4th last year. So basically he's saying he lets the stars isolate and play one-on-one because it tires them out. That's the same principle that I'm bringing it back to.
I ain't playing any of the
That's the same principle that Draymond Green said they lived by with the Houston Rockets, that James Harden was doing so much that they bet on him not being able to do it for 48 minutes, and that they would be able to, if they kept the game close, they'd be able to close it out because James Harden would be so fatigued from dribbling 25 times a possession that they could win. I'm not.
You keep it close. You keep it close. You got Clay and Steph and KD and all them. Yeah, that's cool. But bro, I'm not letting Donovan Mitchell get, because what he's doing is he's just getting hot. He's just getting shots
he's
up.
Finding a rhythm,
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. He's seeing the ball go in, get to the free throw line a couple times. And then by the 4th quarter, it's like, okay, he's tired. Drew, go get him. And now Drew's getting torched in the 4th quarter. Like, that's not a good idea, bro.
I've always said to Dawgs, who do you want to fight? You want to fight the dude who just got finished whooping somebody's ass, or the dude who's been sitting around? I'll tell you who I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight the dude who just got off of whooping somebody's ass, because he's gonna whoop your ass too.
Right. And let me make sure I say this. That's not a good idea to me. If that coach,
me neither.
That, by all means, go ahead, coach. Live your life. To me, I think that's just a bad idea. If we're talking about prolific NBA scorers, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about the best scorers in the world. If you think these guys can't play 38, 43 minutes of basketball and still produce in the 4th quarter, all right.
What do you do? What do y'all do? Tell me what's the term? Turning your water off. Vernon Maxwell said, when I was playing against what's the shooter from Europe?
Petrovic.
Yo, put me on him early, because once he get going, don't put me on him now.
Right.
Because his water already on. Now you asking me to turn the water off? No. Hell no.
Yeah, I remember me, Shaq, and Ron. We was playing in this tournament. It's called in Morton. They do this big tournament in Morton, Washington. Yep. Me and Shaq guarding the two like big wings. Shaq takes the one that we know. I take the other one. He starts cooking Shaq. I'm like, all right, Shaq, let me get him. About 5 minutes later, I'm like, yo, come back over here. you didn't already let him see it go in, bro. I don't got no. I'm not. No, I'll go back over here.
Thought he was the savior.
Nope. Well, I tipped it. Those was the days. You know what I'm saying? That was my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, we made a choice. You chose him. I chose him. Stick to it.
Stick to the plan.
Hey, when it's just a score like that and you see it go in a couple of times, bro, it's kind of like we should have done something about that from the beginning.
Couple more regarding the Celtics, and then we can move on. Steve Taylor said JT is attacking mismatches this year. He's saying narrative comes before facts, apparently.
Yeah, that's why he's shooting the most threes he's shot in his career this year. But he's attacking mismatches more. Yep. That's going on.
He's saying you go with narratives. Oh, don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger.
Even though he's shooting the most threes in his career this season.
And then final one regarding the Celtics. This is more so pertaining to me. Mustafa Siddiqui said, all I'm saying is the Celtics went against 2 elite ISO scorers in the finals in Luka and Kyrie, and they won that series pretty easily. Also, Embiid was fully healthy when they beat him in his 2023 MVP season. If you think he was fully healthy after he sprained his LCL in the first round,
he didn't play half that series. That's not true.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. If you think that was fully healthy Embiid, then my bad. I can tell you, I can assure you he was not, but that's fine. But they did go up against 2 elite ISO scorers in Luka and Kyrie, and they handled Kyrie pretty well. They didn't switch too much with Kyrie, and then Luka was missing threes that I think he's more comfortable making than usual, which some is variance, some is he's not fully healthy, some is good defense. but then also they didn't overcompensate on his playmaking, which also takes away from some of Luka's ability. So I'm not saying it's a guarantee to win. I'm just saying those are the players who give you the best shot. And I don't think I said Luka. I think I said Jokic, Embiid, and Shea as the main guys. But yeah, I think it works more often than not. I'm just saying it's possible to lose, especially when you're up against that level of player, especially in the middle of the floor. But we got a members chat from Smoke Rich Biggs, and I think this is the next game we have to talk about because the chat have been talking about it since before the show started. 6-game win streak, 7-0 at home, 9-0 in NBA Cup play. He is talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. John D is here, Lakers fan. Dalton Knecht obviously had a crazy heater in the third quarter. I think he went 6 for 6 from 3. I know how Ox feels about that. So we've got a lot of people invested in Dalton Knecht or the Lakers in some way. But I am going to start with the Lakers fan. John D, how are you feeling about the JJ Redick Lakers, Dalton Knecht, the NBA Cup, everything going on in the purple and gold?
There's still a few concerns I have, like with our perimeter defense and just our defense in a general, because we have, in my opinion, the best defender in the league, and I think we're struggling with building a competent playoff winning defense around him. But the offense has been great. Austin Reeves has been great. Dalton Knecht has been phenomenal. Anthony Davis now being the hub of the offense has been phenomenal. LeBron James being able to find different ways to get downhill without necessarily having the ball in his hand every single possession. His time of possession is the lowest it's been since he's been a Laker. His touches per game have been the lowest ever since he's been a Laker. So I think those things are helping him kind of go game through game. And I like his new approach now. He is a little too aggressive on his turnovers. He's turning the ball over a little more than I would like, but I definitely like where this team is headed. I think D'Angelo Russell has played better coming off the bench. I still don't necessarily want him on my team, but I like what we're doing. I like what we're doing right now. And if
you don't hate him as much, you still hate him. I just don't hate him as much.
It's not as bad now. It's not as bad now. I can watch him in.
Is he tolerable? Because there's a difference between. Yes. Okay, so you'll tolerate him now. We're still getting divorced though, just so you know. But I'm just tolerating you.
We gotta find somewhere for him to go, and we need some size. Like he doesn't even have to start next to We don't even need a big that necessarily starts next to AD, but just someone that can come in spurts and protect the rim and rebound the basketball. Because once again, rebounding the basketball has been one of our biggest concerns coming into the season, and we're still not the greatest offensive rebounding team or rebounding team in general. And we've been trying to crash the glass so much that now AD's not getting back in transition, and some of these better transition teams are beating us in transition. So there's still a lot of things we do have to work on. I'm not going to be delusional like a lot of Lakers fans that say we're going to the finals and all that, but we still have a lot of things we need to work on. But I think we can get a playoff series win, maybe 2. You never know.
So two things.
Go ahead.
Real quick, Ron. I keep calling Ron. I'm sorry. Ron is not here. No, he is not. I apologize, Moss. Ron is not here. So really quickly. So can we get off? Can we please get off that we still need a big? You already got a big man. Knock it off. Okay, you got a big man. He leads the league in scoring. Not only does he lead the league in scoring, he's one of the best rebounders in the game. There's a reason why Tim Duncan made the transition from the 5 to the 4 back to the 5, because he played the 5. Anthony Davis played the 5 in college. The idea that, he's much better at the 4. Well, he's awesome at the 5 too. It's not like, you're dragging him at the 5 like, oh, we got to hurry up and get a 5-man in here. He's one of the best defensive players in the game, one of the best rebounders in the game. You're great with this guy at the 5. Plus with the ball moving, plus with people moving. I really like this action between him and James. That give and go that they had last night. I really like that. That actually works. And I also like the action between him and Austin Reeves. I don't know what it is, but there's this action going on between him and Austin Reeves. It just works. Whether it's a pick and dive, whether it's pick and pop, it just works between these two. I think that it's time to just accept that Anthony Davis is a big. He is your big. You searching for another big might throw a monkey wrench in what you're doing. You got your ass kicked by Joker, and that's what's kind of throwing you guys off. Joker kicks everybody's. I don't understand what the problem is. It's not like Joker just kicking AD ass. He kicked Rudy ass. He kicks Joel Embiid's ass. He kicked everybody's ass. So, enough with the big. You already got a big man, and he's awesome.
I don't necessarily think it's the fact that we need one starting next to AD. I kind of just want one that's going to come off the bench and hold up those minutes when he's not on the floor, because there are moments, and we still do have to be concerned if there is going to be time where he misses time. And I would just like to have a big that I can lean on when he's not on the floor. I'm not saying it has to be like a Jonas Valanciunas or somebody that's making a crazy amount of money, but just a solid backup big. Like I would love Rob
You
Will.
mean like the dude up in Portland? Pick up the telephone.
Everyone trying to get Robert Williams, man.
Pick up the telephone and ask for Robert Williams.
100%.
Pick up the telephone and ask for Robert Williams. I think they hand him over for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack.
Telling you, better jump on that.
I think they hand him right over because they already got their 5-man Mars.
He has so much value. They can't just hand him over for that. They got to go. It's got to be a bidding war for Rob. They got to get as much as they can. He has so much value to a team like the Lakers, the Kings, the OKC Thunder, the Pelicans. There's so many. There's about 6 teams I could think of that 100%. Could really use Rob Williams right now. To where I'm not just giving him away for nothing. Come on,
here's the difference though, Ox. Don't forget, I've seen this car and I know that the engine blew out a couple of times. So it's not like you just get. It's not like you're getting top dollar for it. I will pay you for it. I'm not saying that you're gonna give it to me for free. But I know that this car is broken. I know that, and I know that when it's running great. But I know that at any point the engine could blow. I know that for a fact.
True. But the GM up here in Portland, the GM up here in Portland, his job is to be a used car salesman and find the mark that's gonna pay for the top dollar. You know, this is a lemon, but we gonna dress it up for you.
I mean, I'll take him in Houston. I'll take him.
I bet you will, Mars. I bet you will.
Hey, we got a Fred VanVleet. Like, I'm just saying, we got.
Hey, Mars, enough about Daniel and VanVleet. Every time I turn around, hey, we got VanVleet over here. Hey, we got. I'm sick of you, Mars, with VanVleet.
That's an NBA champion. We need someone to mentor Scoot. It was meant to be Dame. He left. We got NBA champion Fred VanVleet here to mentor Scoot. Like, what we doing? That's a good deal.
You don't even want him mentoring. You don't want him mentoring Scoot. You just want him off your roster, Mars. That's it.
Win-win situation.
No, more like win for you. That's it.
Win for Portland too.
Oh my God.
But we got to talk about Dalton Knecht because obviously
please talk about Dalton.
He was on a heater last night and he's been. Is it fair to say he's probably been the Lakers' best or second best shooter this year? Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, he's the
best shooter.
He's the Uder.
That's fair.
I think he's been their best shooter, 100%.
So have the Lakers? I don't want to say won the draft, but getting him at 17, is that the steal of the draft? Is that the steal of the draft?
Yes, 100%. I couldn't believe he went that far. I didn't think. That's why I was so upset that we didn't get him, Mars, because I didn't think he was even going to make it to us.
And you had 13, right?
Yeah, I thought he was a top 10 pick for sure. I was so shocked when he was still on the board. That's why I'm like, okay, 13, Dalton Knecht's on the board. I was like, oh yeah, we got this one. You know, and then we don't get him, and he keeps going. The Lakers get him at 17. You got to know that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Right. Like the Lakers get the guy I want.
For what it's worth, Jared McCain was at 16. And he's probably been better than Dalton. No disrespect, he's probably been better than Dalton.
Yeah,
and he was picked 16.
Fair. Yeah, that's
so 16 and 17, just the sweet spot in the draft. Is that what I'm hearing?
First and foremost, did anybody expect Jaren to be this good?
Right, I didn't think you get the opportunity.
Good, that's where I'm at with it, right there, Mars. That I didn't expect Maxey to be out of the lineup. I thought Joel Embiid would be back. I thought that he'd play sparing minutes. The fact that he's now playing the way he's playing. And if I'm not mistaken,
I just didn't know he was that good either.
I tried to tell you guys. I didn't think
he was gonna get the opportunity, and I also didn't think he was that good. Like
everyone was hyper focused on the extracurriculars. Everyone, let's be honest, that's what was.
Well, I mean, that's not it, Mars. That's pretty much all I knew about him. I didn't like. I told y'all last year. I really wasn't tapped into college ball on the men's side that much. I was more focused on the women's side. So I was sleep on it, but I knew about Dalton Knecht. You know what I'm saying? I knew about Zach Edey. I knew about the guys that have been around for a little while. You know what I mean? I was completely sleep on Jaren McCain. I didn't know he was this good or he was going to get this many minutes. So shout out to him for real.
And for dudes, and if we being honest, and because I hear this all the time, Moss, the dudes was like, I told you he was going to be this good. No, you did not know that Jaren McCain would be that good. No, you didn't. So kill it. I ain't saying that he's not a baller. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's not a baller, but for him to be this good coming out the block, there's no way that you could tell that.
I'll admit it. I seen the kid jumping around on YouTube and TikTok nails painted. I'm like, come on, bro, I can't take this kid serious. Yeah, I'll admit it. That's right. I was.
That's where I was at. I ain't gonna lie. But hey, I saw the nails painted. I was like, I'm good.
Hey, he's shooting the nail polish off that ball. Well, I'm like, go ahead, boy, keep doing that.
Yeah, he hooping. I remember telling you guys pre-draft that he's a good player. Now, I didn't think on Philly he was gonna get this opportunity, but sometimes misfortune can lead to fortune. Philly have found someone because of the circumstances of Tyrese Maxey being out and stuff. So they benefit. I think when Maxey's back, he has to be in the rotation. I think he has to start, if I'm being honest. And I think having that available to you, having someone who can score, who can handle the ball, who can pass, who can shoot, like, that's really valuable. And he also, regardless of what people may think about him because of the TikToks and the nails and stuff, he plays tough. Like, you can't take that away from him. He gets in there and rebounds. He'll put his body on the line. He'll hustle. Yeah. Like, everything that you may have thought about him because of what he does on social media and stuff, like, he plays tougher than most people.
He's the opposite of that.
And
yeah, so like,
he just enjoying his life, man. I ain't mad at the kid, man. Have fun.
Now, to your point, Mars, I was blown away that Dalton Knecht slipped past Charlotte at 6. There was no way.
Yeah, you did say you thought he was going there. Yeah,
there was no way that he was slipping past Charlotte at 6. We're talking about the SEC Player of the Year. He led the SEC in scoring. He's an adult. He would have been perfect for what they were doing down there. Perfect for what they were doing. They need an adult. They needed an adult in Charlotte, and for him to slip past them and then to keep dropping in the draft. When he went to 17, I'm thinking to myself, the Lakers got the steal of the draft. And James has proven in the past, even though the offense has changed and the ball's moving more, which I like. James has proven in the past, if you get going, he will go to you. He's shown that with guys like Kyle Korver, right? He's shown that with guys like Kyrie Irving. When you get going, he will go to you. And Dalton Knecht, with that action that they had, got it going. And I think it was a point of emphasis to keep going to him. And Ox, to your point as a coach, Will Hardy, the last thing that I want to hear in the post game is we knew where the ball was, quote, we knew where the ball was going. And most of us knew where the ball was going, but we had some guys who didn't know. That means you ain't paying attention in the huddle.
What? How did he know? Why you ain't tell him?
Everybody, how come you guys didn't know? We all knew. How come you don't know? Ox knew where the ball was going. Mars knew where the ball was going. Jay knew where the ball was going. I don't know where the ball going on. Y'all know where the ball going.
Sometimes it's common sense. Like, I can't tell you everything. A guy made 4 straight threes. You can't figure out the next play for him. Like,
hello,
let's be honest. Like,
yeah, but
come on, like, let's be serious.
Mars, coach got to coach, Mars.
Bro, I mean, Ox, come on, man. This dude just made 4 in a row. And not only did he make 4 in a row, we're in the meat and potatoes of the game. Which way you think they're going?
I'm just saying, like, it's your job as the coach, as the assistant coaches, to make sure that you vocalize what you think everybody should know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about everything. If this guy has 4 or 5 fouls, let him know. He got 4 or 5 fouls. Don't let him off the hook if you catch him in the mid post. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no timeouts. We don't have no timeouts. You know what I'm saying? Or in the last play, don't foul. Don't foul the shooter. We know you're not supposed to do that, right, Chill? We all know. We're up 3. We're up 2. We're just contesting hands up. We're not gonna foul. But it happens all the time. You gotta say it. You have to speak.
Sounds to me, Ox, like you're saying don't assume. Even though we all pros, right? Just don't assume that I know.
Yeah. I mean, for everybody, if it was that simple, Chill, we wouldn't have no coaches. We'd be like, oh, what's the NBA? We don't need coaches. Yeah, they do. Everybody.
Clearly they do.
Yeah.
Clearly they do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, James will go. James 100%. If you get going, he'll continue to go to you. And I think he's been their best shooter. He's actually been responsible for a lot of your wins too. And I think his minutes are going to go up. I do. I think his minutes are going to go up. I like what they're doing with Dalton Knecht. I do. I like what they're doing with him.
Can I real fast, because all off season, the start of the season, people have been taking their laps on the 2024 draft class being weak, but now we're constantly talking about some of these guys basically demanding their teams to give them minutes, especially some of these rookies that are on contending teams. Ryan Dunn is forcing the Phoenix Suns to give him minutes. Dalton Knecht is forcing the Lakers to give him minutes. Even Stephon Castle is forcing himself to give him minutes. I love how he's been playing. Risa Shea, McCain, all these guys are finding a way to get minutes, and they're providing a value in a specific asset that they do. Dalton Knecht's off-ball shooting ability is amazing. Jared McCain's off-ball shooting ability and his driving ability and his passing ability. Ryan Dunn's defense and the fact that he's taking 4.5 threes a game. All these guys, all these rookies are forcing their teams to give them minutes because they're providing a value that they just can't find elsewhere on the team. So I think people are going to look back and say this 2024 draft class was extremely deep, because I see a lot of people who provide a value to their team that could have them last 10 to 15 years in the league. You know, I always say Jared McCain with Jared McCain and Dalton Knecht, shooting is the most portable asset offensively in the NBA. You're going to always have a job if you can shoot off ball and you can shoot off the dribble. These guys aren't just shooting spot up in the corner. Jared McCain is going off ball and finding gaps in the offense to get open threes. Same with Dalton Knecht. They're both shooting off the dribble. Dalton Knecht finishes 80% in the restricted area because he's a great cutter and he's extremely athletic when he does finish around the rim. These values that these guys bring, they're going to translate year after year after year, and they're going to.
You think it's just missing star power? Just missing the star power?
Yeah,
you think that's why they got?
Yeah, the
That's
upside
literally
is lower with this draft. I think that's why people look in the draft to find the next superstar. That's what they're looking for. So like, if there's no Wemby, there's no Zion. It's like the draft is weak. I thought I was one of those like this draft is weak, and I was looking at it from that perspective. I never doubted how deep it was in terms of guys who can contribute. But I still don't see like that high-end upside for really anyone in this draft. And I think that's fine because I mean, you look at this draft and if you get guys who are able to contribute for 10 years, I still think that's a good value. That's a good value at your pick. Now, is it disappointing that Atlanta got the number 1 pick in a Zachary Ricochet draft instead of a Wemby draft? Probably. Yep. But when you get value like Dalton Knecht at 17, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a bad draft. Like last year, the Lakers had 17 pick and they got Jalen Hood-Schifino. Like getting Dalton Knecht at 17 is great value. And
you get guys him out at Tennessee.
I watched him.
I watched last year because I was just seeing what was going on. And then before that, I think he was somewhere else. I can't remember where he was. But like he was really good. I didn't see. I had concerns about him defensively, but like offensively, like he's about as good as I think I could have hoped for right away. But you also got to remember he's older than Anthony Edwards. Like, if he didn't come in and be good or what he was in college right away, I would be concerned. So him being able to come in and hit the ground running and like pick up right where he left off is great. And I think that's what the Lakers needed. They didn't need an AJ Johnson, no disrespect to the Bucks pick, but they didn't need someone who's a project. They needed someone who could come in right now and do what we saw them do in college. And they got that in Dalton Knecht. He shoots just as good as everyone thought he could. He cuts just as well as everyone thought he could. He plays his role just as well as everyone thought they could. There's nothing about Dalton Knecht, in my opinion, that's surprising. Now, it's great that he goes on a heater and scores 37 or whatever. But like a shooter's always capable of going on a heater. He's playing exactly how he was playing at Tennessee, which is great, although with a little less usage. But like, I think it's great that you can get a guy like Dalton Knecht at 17 or Ryan Dunn at 24 or whatever.
28.
I'm still mad.
28. Like that you get that. And I know Penn wants us Jonathan Mogbo in the second round. Like that's extremely valuable.
And we also
Fox's guy, Kyle Filipowski, second round. Like that's great. That's great value. So I think the draft is deep. Just the top end talent is a bit.
And we also haven't like the kid. What's the kid? Is he from Serbia? Topic.
Yeah, he hasn't even played yet.
We haven't seen him.
Pick if he was
we haven't seen him. Ox, your guy, the Big East leading scorer, Devin Carter. We haven't seen him yet.
We drafted him. He's not my guy yet. We drafted him.
Yeah, did draft him. We haven't seen him yet. I mean, I think if I'm being honest with you, I think the Trailblazers got their 5-man in Klingon. I think they got their 5-man in Klingon. I mean, I don't know what the story is with Dillingham, but he looks like he's going to be a pro. He 100% looks like he's going to be a pro. This is because the names, to your point, Miles, when you talk about guys like Giannis, who, by the way, Giannis went 16 in the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
15,
so, was it?
I think so. I can't tell you I'm right.
He was right outside the lottery.
I think he went 16. So with that being said, if these guys Giannis turned into that. Like Giannis wasn't that coming into the draft. So these weak drafts, this is when you find how GMs GM and how good they are in developing these players. I think this kid for the Heat, Khalil Ware, I think he's going to be a player. I think that there's plenty of gems in this draft that haven't been talked about nearly as much. And I think this draft is a lot better than what people gave them credit for.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Let's see if we got any other super chats regarding this. NY sending a currency I'm not familiar with. Is it just me or lately LeBron has been missing easy lays, but his mid-range fadeaways have been cash? Also, Dalton Rookie of the Year.
I don't know, maybe because I'm almost 40 and I don't jump as high as I used to. That might have something to do with it.
You saying LeBron's regressing?
Yeah, sounds like it, Mars. I'm sorry. We so used to seeing him fly through the air that I don't jump as high as I used to. Why? Because all the time catching up with me.
I mean, he still jumped higher than most of the league, to be fair.
Yes, he does. But I don't jump as high as I used to. And think about what you just said, Moss. He jumped higher than most of the league. But who are you comparing him to? Are we comparing him to James in 2020, James in 2018. Like, we don't even talk about, the dude that was on fast forward and everybody else was on regular speed in 2009. No, we ain't talking about that dude. No, forget that dude. We just talking about the dude who's older now. I mean, that when you set that standard, it's tricky. It's
Could
real
you imagine if LeBron was moving like 2009? Oh
no, we 100% would. There's no way if he was moving like he was in 2009 that you couldn't sell me that he ain't on drugs. No way.
Right.
This dude is on drugs. Hell no.
Mars,
40 years old, the most athletic player in the league. Oof.
He on drugs, no doubt about
it. That is a Swedish currency. It's a Swedish krona, and it equals one Swedish krona equals 9 cents in American currency.
So he said so what's that, about $10 ish, $9?
Yeah, about $9. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Shout out to you. I wonder how much bread costs in Sweden if that's 100 krona. Damn, those prices be crazy to me. Any more super chats regarding the Lakers? Bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got one. Stars Black members chat. He said last season when Ticket said AD should be playing elite ball every single game, we all jumped on him and said AD can't do it. Ticket was right. He can. My issue with Ticket was saying that he should be able to go at Jokic and go one band for band with Jokic and say he's that good that he should outplay Jokic on both sides of the ball. I didn't agree with that. I still also think AD isn't as good offensively as the tier 1 offensive players in the game. I think he's a defense first player. He's defense who also plays really good offense, which is what makes him so great. But I don't hold him to the standard of the elite offensive players. I don't hold him to the standard of Jokic, of Luka, of those guys. I don't think he should be held to that standard. I think it's unfair to him that he should be held to that standard. And if you expect that of him, then I think you probably think he's better than I do, which is fine. I just don't agree with that. But that's just my opinion. But I also think I'm not going to say Ticket was wrong because AD's been great offensively this year. And if that's what he meant, like AD should be able to average 30, then like I think he's right on that. But I just didn't agree with
the whole situation with that, because him and Damo was going back and forth about it. And I was personally saying, I thought during the time when they were having that argument, I thought AD was playing great. So that was my issue with the argument. Like, yeah, you want him to play like peak Kevin Garnett or peak Hakeem Olajuwon. And Damo was saying that he thinks AD was playing bad, and I was like, I think we're getting really good production from Anthony Davis.
And why is it a bad thing to say that the other dude is just better? What's the problem?
That's where I was at with it. Like he's just not as good offensively as this guy.
Sorry.
So if I expect him to be that good, I'm just gonna set myself up for disappointment. I think AD is really good offensively. I also think he's not as good offensively as guys like Jokic, so I'm not going to expect him to be that good. Regardless of if he can give me 38 and 17 on any given night. He's still not as good as those guys offensively. So that's where I'm at. But I also think Domo, and maybe I was part responsible as well. I think we underrated how good he can be on a consistent basis offensively. I think that's possible, but I also don't think I'm going to expect him to be Jokic. I just don't expect that. So, that's where I'm at.
I watched Patrick Ewing play at an MVP level. He wasn't better than Olajuwon, though. Sorry. He just wasn't. That doesn't mean that he wasn't awesome. That doesn't mean that he wasn't competing. That doesn't mean that he wasn't trying. That doesn't mean that he wasn't battling. He just wasn't good as Olajuwon. That's all. And Anthony Davis, as good as Anthony Davis is, as awesome as Anthony Davis is on defense, as good as Anthony Davis is as a mid-range shooter, and even in this offense, watching him shoot the long ball, because I think he's better at the top of the key than he is anywhere else on the floor at shooting the long ball. I just feel like that's a rhythm shot that he knocks down pretty consistently. With that being said, he ain't better than Joker. That's all.
Right. Couple more Lakers super chats, and then we'll move on. Realist 123 tap back in, said the Lakers are back. We are winning it all this year. This is the fans John D was alluding to. LeBron with the lowest usage rate of his career. Just wait till the playoffs. I can't wait. Also, you guys see D'Lo's block on Collins. Trade value. So he's still trying to get off D'Lo, which I think is the right thing to do.
All of y'all trying to get off D'Lo.
No, Mars, it's too late, Mars. It's too late.
It's too late now?
They should have did it the last trade deadline, and then they let him convince that he was like that. Now nobody's gonna fall for it now. Now, with every team, any team that was gonna trade for him initially, nope, we're done.
John, I like D'Angelo Russell on your crew as a rotation guy. I think he's solid as a rotation guy.
We don't need another rotation guy. We don't need another rotation guard. Get him out of LA. Go bring in some wing defense, some type of point of attack defense. That's all I mean,
you have someone in the G League who was drafted for defense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I like to meet him.
Hey.
You did meet him. He started the season with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know what to say. He wear number 9. That's all I know. I mean, he was drafted for defense. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But couple more outside of the first 5 games from Itzhak Ira. The Lakers' schedule has been tissue soft. 5th easiest strength of schedule. Want to see their defense against better teams, better guards. The strength of schedule stuff, like, I get it. Like, this is why I don't think records tell you how good a team is. But I also think teams have to handle the easy parts of their schedule, especially in the Western Conference. You can't go on the easy stretch of games and then go 2-3. Like, you can't afford to do that. So if the Lakers win 6 in a row during the easy part of their season, that's what they're supposed to do. And I think they should be praised for doing so. Now, they were in some dogfights in those games, but that's besides the point. You win the games. It doesn't, on your record, it doesn't say, oh, almost lost to the Spurs. It doesn't say that. So as long as they win those games, they're fine. But I think you've got to handle the teams you're supposed to be. If you're not doing that, I think that's where the concern is. So I don't have a problem with that. But their defense is concerning. But I think their defense is concerning because their transition defense is appalling. But it's been appalling for like 3 years now. So like, I just don't. You need athletes. That's what you need. And I don't know how you acquire them, but that's what you need. Your transition defense is like the worst in the league, I think. So that's where the problem is.
No, it's the worst possession in the league.
There we go. So yeah, it's like
you give up. You brought that up, Miles.
They give up their defensive rating in transition is 141.
Garbage.
Awful.
Can't stop nobody.
Yeah,
Trash. But
bad.
okay, Mars, they beat Minnesota, damn good guard play. They beat Phoenix, damn good guard play. They beat Sacramento, good guard play. Toronto, not so much. Philly, not so much. Toronto again. Memphis, San Antonio, and the Pels, and now Utah. So it's not like it's not like the teams that they've played that they beat have been terrible. You know, they beat some good teams.
I just against Phoenix, I think what happened was in the first half when we played them, they were knocking down their shots, and I think in like the third quarter they just stopped, and that's what gave us the advantage to really get back into that game.
That's the game you guys were down 20, right?
Yeah, and we were like, we're getting hands up. They're not getting the easiest shots. They're just falling. You know, I think over a 7-game series, the Suns may be able to attack that shooting gap that they might have over us, but I don't know. That would be a tough series. That would be a tough series, but I'm not going to look all the way in the future like that.
Avery B said, who is the last shooter, read between the lines, he's asking about white people, that we have seen that also can put it on the floor and dunk consistently? Dalton is a hooper. So who is the last white shooter who could also get to the rim and finish above the rim?
Was Gordon Hayward counted as a shooter?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think Gordon Hayward's a shooter. I think Gordon Hayward's a slasher who could shoot, personally.
Gordon Hayward was a baller.
He was tough, yeah. But I always consider Gordon Hayward a slasher who could shoot.
He said Zach LaVine in the comment.
Zach LaVine. Okay.
I'm going with Zach LaVine for sure.
Give me Grayson Allen.
Zach counts is crazy. Zach LaVine counts.
Oh man, that's fire. I'm trying to think.
Does he mean American white players?
Wasn't Grayson Duncan?
He just said white. He just said white.
Pat Connaughton for a minute, for a couple seasons.
Would you consider Pat a shooter?
For a season or two there, I would, yeah.
Hey man, the answer is Larry Markkinen. I don't know what we're doing right now. The answer is Larry Markkinen, and he's still playing.
Markkinen is great in transition.
Larry Markkinen, an athlete. That's who the answer
is. Put the ball on the floor and get to the rim, and he's legit 6'10". Yeah.
Someone said Dan Marley.
Thunder Dan.
Shout out to Dan Marley.
There's options. There's options. Dante DiVincenzo.
Dirk gets to the rim.
Grayson Allen. Like Grayson Allen, man.
If you ever in Phoenix, make sure to stop by Dan Marley. He got the little spot right across the street from the arena. It's fire over there too. Good food, all that.
Been there before.
Yeah, I like that spot.
I've been there.
Yeah, shout out Rex Chapman for sure.
Realist 123 again. He has a super chat for Chill this time. He said, "Chill, you said Edie was the steal of the draft. Just saying, but respect though. Always love the panel. So have you changed your mind on that? Is Dalton Knecht the steal of the draft now?
Two things could be true. Just so you
multiple
know,
steals.
100%. You can rob more than one bank. Just so you know, it's not just one bank in town. You can steal from more than one bank. So
we've seen.
I think we do got to go with Jared McCain though. If we had to choose one, I think we do have to go with Jared McCain.
I mean, you get Ryan Dunn at 28.
That's what I'm thinking.
28 versus 16.
Every time I watch him, I'm like, Phoenix, Every time I watch him, Milwaukee, your starting small forward is in Phoenix.
Where did Milwaukee pick? Where did Milwaukee pick this year?
They went 24 and they passed on him.
They picked AJ. They picked before him. Yeah,
they passed on him. Your starting small forward is in Phoenix. Now, don't get me wrong. None of us thought that he was going to be shooting 40% on the long ball. He never showed that at Virginia. No, he didn't. However, he did show that he could defend, which is what you need.
For what it's worth. Ryan Dunn's 3-point percentage is now gone down to 32%. For what it's worth, I'm just saying.
Which is who
I'm just saying. Half attempts a game. I'm taking.
But I'm just saying, considering where he was in college, 32% is a surprise to me.
You'll take it, Mars. 100% you'll take it.
I'll absolutely take it. So shout out to Ryan Dunn. He's definitely been better than I expected offensively.
Yep.
But
I think Zach Edey's been really good though. Like this, I think he's been really good.
He's been valuable. It just allows Jaren Jackson to be back at the 4. And like I said on my platform, that's a top 10 power forward in the game. That's
Jackson.
Okay, I'll eat that one. I'll eat that
5 rebounds a game, Ox. 5.
Man,
sick of this dude, man. Rebounding.
First of all,
that's despicable.
6 rebounds.
I'm sorry, 6 rebounds.
Man.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's why we losing games, because you don't rebound.
And he loved to shoot that.
They
I
hate
how he shoots. I hate how he shoots the ball too. I don't understand
how it might not be solely because of it.
Yeah, I hate it.
It does contribute to it. 100%. As a big, your job at the 4 spot. One of you, okay, Mars, when you have as the point guard, I got a list of things that I'm supposed to do as a point guard. As a 2 guard, I have a list of things that I'm supposed to do. As a small forward, as a power forward, there are a list of things that I have to do as a power forward. One of them at the top of the list is rebound. Get on the glass. Why are you averaging 6 rebounds? And again, a lot of people hear numbers, and a lot of people go, well, you can't you can misconstrue numbers. No, we can't. That's 1 rebound a quarter. 1. Why are you not on the glass? You can rebound better. You should be a double-digit rebounder. You in particular, the rim protector that you are, you should be a double-digit rebounder. And the fact that Zach Edey is there, that should make it even better because he only playing 20 minutes a night. Rebound the basketball, man. This ain't good enough.
I don't understand how I can't figure it out why I like Triple J so much.
Because he's really good. My thing is like, for me, rebounding matters as long as the team gets the rebound. Like if it's Jaren Jackson or Santi Aldama or Zach Edey or Ja Morant or Marcus Smart, as long as Memphis come down with the ball, I don't care who actually came down with it. That's my opinion.
What my job is, Mars? Are you discounting?
I think the team's job is to rebound misses.
100%.
Ideally, the biggest guy on the team is probably going to be the best.
Yes, that's my primary.
In most situations, the taller you are, the more rebounds you get. I understand that, but if the team is actually getting the ball,
okay,
like let's say theoretically, like we imaginary world. This never actually happens, but imaginary world. Let's say there's a team who every time they force a miss, they get the rebound. They never give up an offensive rebound.
Sure.
Never. But their big only averages 6 rebounds a game. Are we going to then complain at the big when it's clearly not hurting his team? Like, for me, it's like, I don't care. If the team is getting the rebounds, and Memphis are one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the league, I don't care that it's not Jaren Jackson getting them. I care that Memphis get the rebounds, whether it's Marcus Smart, Santi Aldama, or Jaren Jackson. And then I looked at it, Memphis gets they rebound 75% of all misses when Jaren Jackson's on the floor. When he's not on the floor, it's 65%. So if Jaren Jackson himself is not getting the rebounds and he's that bad of a rebounder, why do Memphis get 10% less rebounds when he's off the floor? If he's such a bad rebounder, why are they getting less rebounds as a percentage of their misses when he's not on the floor? He either must be helping something or the person replacing him is even worse than him. I don't know which one is true. I'm asking how you feel about that. Which one seems to be the case? Because Memphis rebound better when Jaren Jackson's on the floor.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, you have a job to do. So I can't say that I don't care who passes the ball, long as the ball gets to the right person. No, that's your job as the lead guard. Don't get me wrong. I do understand that we have to get the ball to whomever we have to get the ball to. But you as a lead guard, your job is to pass the basketball. Your job is to get other people involved in the game. Now, when you're not doing that, and we're not as good, even though you just said we are, but and that's a hypothetical. But when we're not as good, that's a reflection. That's a reflection on my lead guard. When we are rebounding the basketball at the rate that you're talking about us rebounding the basketball, we could probably be better if you rebounded more. Now, I don't think that as a guy who's averaging 6 rebounds, you're taking up that much attention. You should be better at slipping blockouts. You should be better at attacking the glass. The reason why is because the reason why we are who we are as a rebounding team, because we all got to rebound. If you did that, like Zach Randolph did it, if you did that, like Dennis Rodman did it, I'm not even going to bring in elite rebounders. I'm going to bring in a good rebounder. If you did it like Horace Grant did it, if you did it like Al Horford did it, we wouldn't have to gang rebound as much. And a lot of us could stick to our jobs and be more proficient in our jobs, which makes us a better team. Because I can tell you right now, Mars, when you're on a team, the most important thing about me being on a team is I got to do my job. If I don't do my job, we can't do our job. Because I can't help you do your job until I do my job. So a guy like Jaren Jackson, who they rebound better when he's on the floor. They could rebound even better if he rebounded more.
I get, like, I'm not saying that rebounding individually doesn't, like, for me, because the person I always go to is Steven Adams, because Steven Adams, especially when he was in OKC, Steven Adams, in my opinion, was very clearly OKC's best rebounder. Very, very clearly. But he was only getting 4 defensive rebounds a game. So was he hurting Oklahoma City's rebounding because he was only getting 4 defensive rebounds a game? Or was it just understood that as long as the team gets the rebound, Steven Adams doesn't have to get it? He's the one taking the responsibility of boxing people out.
Sure.
He's making sure the bigs can't crash, but Russ will come in because Russ is a really great rebounder and he can push. That it makes sense as long as we get the rebounds, and I'm gonna help us do that. As long as we get the rebound, it doesn't matter that I physically come down with it because our team rebounds at an elite level when I'm on the floor. Every team Steven Adams has been a part of rebounds at an elite level, offensively and defensively, when he's on the floor. And that man never gets defensive rebounds. The last time he was healthy in 2022, where he played the full season, he was getting 5 defensive rebounds a game. The best he's ever done was 6.5. And that was when he played half the season. So, like, he's never been an elite defensive rebounder in terms of the numbers, but we all understand how good of a rebounder he is because of everything he does. And I'm not saying Jaren Jackson is Steven Adams. He's not. He doesn't box out like that. He's not as good. But when the team clearly gets a lot of rebounds when he's on the floor, and they clearly get a lot less when he's not on the floor,
right? I
have a hard time being like, Jaren Jackson is the problem. I can't do that because I don't think rebounding is Memphis' problem. I think problems come offensively and other things, but they rebound 75% of all defensive opportunities. Like, that's really good. That's in line with the Bucks. That's in line with the Rockets. Like, it's right around those really, really good rebounding teams. So I don't have a problem with that. Like, OKC is obviously at the bottom of the league in that because we know, but like, I don't think that really bothers me that much. Like, would it be great if he got 9 rebounds? Sure. But as long as Memphis gets the rebounds, it doesn't bother me who gets it. That's just where I'm at with it.
For example,
same thing with assists. Golden State led the league in assists every year. Steph Curry wasn't leading the team in assists. As long as the team's moving the ball and everyone's getting involved and everyone's touching it, I don't care if the point guard passes you the ball or Draymond passes you the ball or Klay passes you the ball or KD. I don't care who passes you the ball. As long as the ball's moving and we create good shots, it doesn't need to be the point guard. I feel like the idea of each position has a job makes sense in the fact that ideally your people closest to the rim, who are normally your bigs, would get more rebounds because they're closer to the basket. But I don't think that means that it's their job to get rebounds. The same way I don't think it's the point guard's job to get assists. I mean, we watch Denver. They run the offense through Jokic. We watch Sacramento Kings. They run the offense through Sabonis. That doesn't mean he's doing De'Aaron Fox's job for him or he's doing Jamal Murray's job for him. I think it's just the way the game is played now. Everyone can kind of do everything. I think versatility is king right now.
For example, we see a lot of possessions in, like, when they're trying to rebound, Zach Edey's just gonna swat the ball towards the ball handler. He's not even gonna attempt to try and get the rebound because the Memphis Grizzlies are such a dangerous team in transition. They're number 1 in transition frequency, top 10 in points per possession in the transition. So even when Zach Edey's boxed out, or maybe he's not in the best position to get the rebound with both hands, he'll just swat it out to John Morant, who's one of the best transition players in the league. So I think that is adding value to the rebound, even if he's not coming down with the rebound himself.
When you get into a playoff series, when you get deep into the playoffs, that's going to become a problem moving forward. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to run into teams who they also gang rebound. You're going to run into teams who, like Russell Westbrook, when he was playing, being one of the better offensive rebounding guards. Okay, well, I'm not going to be able to keep him off the glass as much as I could keep Jordan Poole off the glass. That's where my big and Jaren Jackson comes in. He's got to get on the glass more. I'm not going to be able to keep, I don't know, Pat Beverly off the glass. I'm not going to be able to keep certain guys off the glass. Even though we are a good team in terms of rebounding, me as the foreman, as the dirty work guy, I have to be able to do that off the strength that my guards, they have other responsibilities also. And because they have other responsibilities, I can make life less difficult for them when I'm doing my job. Now, I can appreciate the idea of Steph Curry being the lead guard and not only being able to pass to whomever. But Steph Curry does have to pass. That is part of his job as a lead guard. Just like it's part of Draymond's job. Sure, Draymond is the better passer of the group. That's why they run the offense through him. Sure, I can get with that logic. However, you as the lead guard, that's a part of your job to do that. And if I'm doing that, and I'm doing that at a high level, which is what Steph was doing at one point. He was averaging like 7-8 assists. When I'm doing that at a high level, I take a lot of stress off the other guys, off the crew, to actually do their jobs more and enhance our crew.
Yeah, I can understand that. Ron, you want to go back to host?
And I don't even know what y'all been talking about.
Are you sure? And matter of fact, Ron, we straight. Chill out, Ron. We good over here. Matter of fact, just hang out, Ron. Pull up a seat. Chill out. As you were saying, Mars.
Actually, we got 33.9 super chat. That was for Ron. I saved it for you. He wants you to talk about Al Horford and how you said he's food. How'd you feel about it?
Al Horford played great defensively last night, but specifically on Darius Garland. And Darius Garland played bad last night. And so, I mean, I guess Darius tried to pick on him. I mean, kind of tried to pick on everybody, and he wasn't able to pick on nobody. So he got like 3 or 4 blocks or Al Horford got like 3 or 4 blocks on Darius Garland. Mm-hmm. Played good on him. But Evan Mobley was picking on him.
Oh, so he's still food? He's still food?
Last night he ain't look like food. he ain't look like food last night. But I still stand on what I said though. They should be trying to pick on Al Horford.
Okay. They should be trying to, but you're not going to say he's food.
He didn't look like food last night. But
okay, theoretically, in the playoffs, you're going to say he's food.
I'm saying that, Ron. You can say it. I'll say it. Go after Al Horford in the playoff series. Yes. One game. Okay, sure. Throughout the course of the playoffs, yes. Go after Al Horford. Yes. Okay, I'm down to go after him.
Interesting. Sticking on the topic of rebounding, Drink More Water said, "This is why I never had an issue with Brook Lopez, low rebounding numbers, because he's a box out guy. He transformed our rebounding that 2018 offseason." That's kind of my stance on it. It doesn't really bother me who gets the rebound as long as the team gets the rebound. Rebounder,
though. Brook Lopez wasn't ever. He wasn't a double. He's never been a double-digit rebounder in his career. He wasn't that in Brooklyn. He wasn't that with the Lakers, and he's more of the modern day stretch big.
It's crazy considering what he came into the league as. But shout out to
rim protector, and that's what he was at Stanford, a rim protector and a rebounder.
Shout out to him, man. Transformed his game. Now, since we finished talking about the Lakers and the Cavs, I can get back to the super chats in chronological order. Drip Bayless said, rank these point guards: Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, Derek White, and Darius Garland.
You know what he wants?
Based off how they're playing this season, or just
who do you think rank them as the best player 1 through 4? No, that's the easiest.
Oh, the best player 1 through 4. When Tyrese Halliburton is scoring the ball, I would do Hallie 1, Maxey 2, Garland 3, Derek White at 4.
I'm having a hard time trying to make the case for Halliburton at this point, man.
It is tough. It is tough. But if you talking about like what you value, it wouldn't be crazy having Derek White at like 2. It wouldn't be crazy.
Chill.
Maxey, Garland, White, Hallie.
Oh, damn. Hallie lost now? Ron?
Garbage!
Go ahead, Ron.
You're killing us. Killing us.
You guys already know. I got Hallie 1. I'm gonna go Max. I got the same order as John. Hallie 1, Maxey 2, Garland 3. I damn near got Derek White. Nah, I got Derek White 3rd, Garland 4th.
Last night moving you in terms of Darius Garland.
It's just the defense and the size and just in general.
Okay. I think Derek White's a shooting guard, but him on this list, I think you can have the conversation about him versus most of them, in my opinion. But Ox, you have an opinion? Derek White, Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, Darius Garland.
think I got Maxey, Garland, Halliburton, and Derek White.
Okay.
Because like you said, I think Derek White's a shooting guard, but
Yeah. This is one just for chill. He says, salute guys, chill. Who are the best / worst defenders by position? He said this is ever, by the way. So who's the best point guard defender ever and worst all the way through center? If you can, I don't know.
Gary Payton is the best point guard defender.
He about to say Damian Lillard the worst.
No, that's Luka. 100%. It's not Damian Lillard. 100% that's Luka. At the 2 guard, Jordan.
Mhm.
At the off guard, who's the worst? I don't know who the worst 2 guard defender is. That's a good one. I think Scottie Pippen's the best small forward defender in NBA history. The worst, who is garbage?
Kiki Vandeweghe.
Kiki Vandeweghe was very bad at the swing spot. He was not good. No, that's not true. I'm gonna go. Mark Aguirre was terrible at the swing spot playing defense. He was a product of good defense. He was a product of being on good defensive teams. Mark Aguirre could not guard 1-on-1. No, he couldn't. He was awful. Let's see, at the 4 spot, the best, I think that's Tim Duncan. The worst. Who's the worst 4-man defender? Not Jaren Jackson. He might be a worse rebounder, but he's not the worst defender, but he's definitely the worst rebounding 4-man. No doubt about that. At the 5, I think that's Lajuan. And the worst is Felton Spencer from Utah. He was garbage at the 5. Couldn't guard nobody. Damn.
Why they get you so mad?
Because Utah had an opportunity to win some. That opportunity to win some series. This dude couldn't guard nobody. Man, Felton Spencer was just big for nothing. He was just big for nothing.
I didn't know Joe had just some untapped hate for Felton Spencer.
Damn. I actually like Felton Spencer. He was good around the basket. He just couldn't cover nobody, man. He was killing us. And it's a little tricky too, Ox, because when you go from Mark Eaton to Felton Spencer, I mean, it does get a little tricky. Yeah,
it's a noticeable difference.
Yes, when you go from Mark Eaton to Felton Spencer, sure, absolutely.
Oh damn, I did miss one regarding the Celtics. It was from War V Room. He said Norris Cole said Espo was like that in terms of making just adjustments randomly. And then in the playoffs he would just switch it up and surprise everyone. Maybe Joe Mazzulla will do that. I doubt it. I think Joe Mazzulla's principles are pretty clear at this point. It's just, can you stop it? I don't think he's just going to change it up in the playoffs at any point. I think he's just.
Well, we went over this, and I was like, if this is working, why are we switching? I mean, they won the NBA championship with it. They was knocking on the door before last year. Every year, I mean, 5 times in 7 years in the East Finals. He just got the job, sure, but I mean, this thing is working. Why do we need to switch up? There are some things that could be tinkered with, sure. Like to Ox's point, like I'm not just going to let Darius Garland fry Cater for 40 or 50. No, I'm not going to do that. But for the most part, what we do works. Stick to it.
Motaz Musa said Mars watch Attack on Titan with Ron. No.
Please
and then he said, by the way, Tatum is top 3 in the league.
Please lock in on Attack on Titan.
No, we good. And then he said Tatum's top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man,
I don't even watch anime, but I had watched that show.
I'm good. I'm busy, man. I got other things to do, man. I'm busy, unfortunately.
Do you have time, Moss? Do you have time?
I don't have time for Attack on Titan. I can promise that. But also, Ron, you have to admit Tatum's top 3 in the league. You want to admit that?
No.
Okay.
He's not. I will say he's top 3 in MVP, and he for sure got action, but he's not better than Jokic. Not better than Giannis.
Sounds like you're going third. I don't know what to say. Sounds like you're going third.
Say it, Ron.
And he's not better than KD.
I knew he was going to say KD. I knew it. I knew he was going to say KD. How can you say that, Ron? How?
You seen KD? KD be hooping. What do you mean? How can you say that? That's KD.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mars. Have you seen KD?
I'm not just shows how good he is. You seen Phoenix without KD?
I think they're 4-9.
This is a team that was 9-2 with KD.
They was rolling.
Now he's not there. They look trash. Like,
they was rolling with KD.
And
chill. Notice he did not say Luka.
He did not. No.
Ron was thinking wisely about what name would get the least pushback. That's why. He was gonna say Luka, but he knew that Chill and Ox would be like, nah.
I really wasn't gonna say Luka. I was gonna say another name, but then I was like, let me.
You don't believe that. That's why you didn't say it. Because you don't believe that, Ox.
He was gonna say Trae Young.
Nah, I really was gonna say
Joel.
I wanted to say Steph, but I kept Steph out of this.
Which you should have.
Don't forget AD though.
Anthony Davis. We can
Anthony Davis better than Tatum. Yeah,
100%. We can have a conversation about it.
But really, the name I really wanted to say was Ant.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say De'Aaron Fox.
No.
So Ant's not playing better than him this year?
No,
Coach had banned it with the members.
Wait. Put that super chat down. So wait. It's not a discussion. We're about to really do this.
It's not.
It's not a discussion.
No, it's not.
So you guys haven't been watching Anthony Edwards.
I've been
42% from 3, going crazy, hitting game winners. We just haven't seen this. I know Tatum hit a game winner too, but I'm saying like so. Anthony Edwards
averaging the most points in his career.
He's been playing great. Ant's been playing great. He's not providing the versatile defense that Jayson Tatum is providing.
Not only the versatile defense.
Keep going.
You got it.
He's not providing the defensive versatility. He's not providing the playmaking. Ant has been shooting his threes amazing. Don't get me wrong. I think he's still shooting like 14 a game. If we like he was looking like he was shooting earlier this season, but I just don't think that's better than what Jayson Tatum's giving you. I really don't. And
so what was the defensive versatility that you guys seen last night from Jayson Tatum? I'm still trying to find this defensive versatility. He wasn't checking Evan Mobley. He wasn't checking Darius Garland.
Yes,
he got switched.
Yes, he did.
Check Darius Garland.
He definitely checked Darius Garland last night.
Okay, he might have got switched on him. I'm talking chill. I'm trying to figure out who just.
But that's their game plan, Ron.
No, time out. The same thing y'all be saying about Giannis is the same thing I'm trying to figure out about Jayson Tatum. You guys swear Giannis isn't locking nobody up and playing real defense. I don't see Jayson Tatum just sit down and just lock anybody up. Like he plays. I'm not saying he plays bad defense. Right. I'm just trying to figure out where are the marquee defensive plays from Jayson Tatum.
Right. So
last night, the only defensive play I remember is when he damn near knocked Donovan Mitchell's tooth out.
I don't know what that was. But
protect.
This is the same dude who you're telling me about who does sit down and get in the defensive stance, but then turn around and talk about Anthony Edwards, who couldn't, and don't get me wrong, there's nobody who could, who just had the display he had against De'Aaron Fox. And not only against De'Aaron Fox, but he also had against the Portland Trailblazers and Shaedon Sharpe. When Shaedon Sharpe kicked his ass, let's call it what it is, Ron. Shaedon Sharpe gave him the business.
Was it
100%. That was his matchup. 100%. That was his matchup.
I didn't watch the game.
I did. I watched him play.
So it was in. So
Shaedon was his matchup.
I see Shaedon hitting turnaround jumpers on him.
That was his
matchup. Hold on, chill. This is the man that you vouch for is all defense.
I did vouch for him as all defense, 100%. And you could get your ass kicked being an all-league defender. That could happen. I'm not saying that. However, what I'm saying is you telling me about Jayson Tatum not being able to sit down in the stance, not being able to slow anybody down. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards also is getting his ass kicked. So that point doesn't work. But what does work is the fact that the Boston Celtics, their scheme is very much switchable. And with their scheme being switchable, Jayson Tatum shows that versatility where he can cover against Darius Garland. He can cover their two guard. He can cover on the box. He can cover in transition. He can even cover at the rim. So with that being said,
I'm not saying he can't.
And he's done that. Let me rephrase that, Ron. He's done that. And he's been doing that this season.
He does have versatility. He can guard point guards. He can guard shooting guards. He can guard small forwards. He can guard power forwards. I'm not denying his defensive versatility. Like, he got that. All I'm trying to say is I still don't see the defense to the level that just because you can guard four positions doesn't automatically mean you're an all-league defender. That doesn't mean
you don't even need to be an all-league defender. He's a great off-ball defender.
I'm not. He's all right, but I'm saying like I still don't see what you got the praise that you guys. Is it just because he can guard 1 through 4, or is he a phenomenal defender? What is he?
He's a damn good defender.
He's a phenomenal.
Defender, like I said, it was me and Ox on playback last night. We were focused on other agendas on playback than Tatum's defense. But I'm telling you, we're gonna do a Celtics game soon, and I need you guys to point out to me all these amazing defensive plays that Jayson Tatum makes. Because you guys talk about I'm telling you, I hear pushback on Giannis, but when it comes to Jayson Tatum's defense, he could do no wrong.
Mars, remember what I just told you, Mars, earlier when I told you that I was wrapped up in Herb Jones, so I ain't really paying attention to Dyson Daniels. That's what Ron is doing. Ron is wrapped up in the Celtics offense. Ron is wrapped up in how fast they play. Ron is wrapped up in them cracking the long ball. He is not paying attention to who Jayson Tatum is as a defender, when he sits down, how he navigates screens, how is he off the basketball, how the kind of deflections that he gets, which hand he uses to get deflections. That stuff matters, Ron. So the fact that you're not paying attention to that because you wrapped up in the other stuff, you're missing it. So next time the Celtics play, pay attention to Jayson Tatum solely as a defender. Just like you do Anthony Edwards, because I pay attention to Anthony Edwards solely as a defender. And that's why I said what I said about him, because he'll give me, because Anthony Edwards will give me stretches, because guys don't do this all the time. Let's be clear about this. But Anthony Edwards will give me stretches of elite defense. He 100% will do that. But then he'll run into guys like De'Aaron Fox, who there's nobody who can do anything with De'Aaron Fox. Like, there's nobody. And then he'll get the business 100%. He will just get the business. So next time the Celtics play, I want you to pay attention to Jayson Tatum. Pay attention to Jayson Tatum as a defender. Watch him get around.
Who they got on Friday?
Watch him.
Washington. I don't know if y'all want to watch that one, but let's.
No, we'll play defense on Kuzma. Oh man, you see what I'm saying? But chill, chill.
All I they got Minnesota. They got. Oh wait, that's Sunday. Never mind.
Well, we'll be on playback on Sunday.
Oh, they got Minnesota on Sunday.
Yeah, that is the playback. Me and Jordan got that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna get down to the bottom of this Ant Tatum thing.
Yeah, we're gonna.
There's no thing. You're the only one making that thing. There's no Tatum thing. There's no
as exceptional as Ant's playing this year.
He's been great.
He has been great. Don't get me wrong.
So Tatum's just been a tier better than him.
He's clearly better.
Yes,
clearly.
I'm asking who's playing better.
That would mean he's a that means he's
Tatum
a
is clearly playing better.
All right,
Jayson Tatum
and chill. You said I'm not paying attention to this Tatum defense because I'm focused on these other things. No, my only thing is, chill, how much does Jaden Hardy average this year?
Jaden Hardy?
Yeah,
like 3 points.
Chill.
Jaden Hardy.
Yeah.
Who's Jaden Hardy? I'm sorry.
Oh, see, you don't even know who Jaden Hardy is. You want to know why you don't know who Jaden Hardy is? And why you don't pay attention to Jaden Hardy?
My fault. 5.6 points. My bad, Jaden.
And why you don't pay attention to him? Because you're focused on Luka. Because
you're focused on Kyrie.
Because you're focused on PJ Washington.
Jaden Hardy's had a really bad season.
You're focused on all of these other guys. And you know
the headband dude with the brown skin headband dude.
Yeah, the headband.
Okay, all right, I'm with you.
And so that's how I feel about Jayson Tatum on defense.
I apologize.
I'm watching Al Horford block shots. Yeah, I gotta praise Al Horford now. I'm watching Al Horford block shots. I'm watching.
Wait, stop right there, Ron. What you say?
I'm watching Al Horford block shots and move his feet.
You don't got nothing. You don't got nothing.
Do what he do. I'm watching Jalen.
He said he's still food. He said he's still food.
Jayson Tatum poke the ball free. We're watching Jayson Tatum get out in transition.
I'm watching Jaylen Brown check Donovan Mitchell. I'm watching Derek White be Derek White. Like Jayson Tatum he's a byproduct of that.
Stand with this.
He's a byproduct of that.
Okay. Shout out to Jayson Tatum, but yeah, he's been better at this season, and he's just a better player than Ant. That's my opinion. I think that's most people.
Mine too.
Okay, be that as it may, I still want to see this defense. So one of these days, we'll all be on playback, and we'll get a chance to. You guys get a chance to break down to me all the positives that he does on the defensive end.
Okay. Cultured Bandit, member for 12 months. He said the Suns have been looking really rough without KD. His impact on that team definitely got undervalued.
They've been looking real whack, yo. For the record, Suns have been looking real whack.
Who would have thought Kevin Durant was important? I don't know. Who would have thought? I don't know. All he does is score. He don't do anything else. All he does is score. He doesn't bring any value. I mean, I guess. All right, cool. Yeah, KD's still really good. KD's still really impactful. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Now, I'm surprised Devin Booker's looked as bad as he's looked, in my opinion, this season. That's surprising to me. But I'm not surprised that Kevin Durant is as impactful as he is. He's always been supremely impactful. It's just people just seem to think he's not that good for some reason. I don't know why, but shout out to Kevin Durant. That's all I got. Shout out to Kevin Durant. Yeah, interesting. Shout out to Ron. Mtel 22 said, this is Mtel from the PCR, by the way. Shout out to Mtel. He said, I'll be honest, Mars. France might have taken back number one. He's talking about the best player on the Magic.
Wait till wait. I love this, Mars. You know why? Because wait till Paolo come back. When Paolo come back, This logic. Is
I'm not.
gonna
Yeah,
switch up.
see, I'm not.
Watch how quick this logic switch up.
Yeah, Paolo started the season great, and I'm not here to have the Paolo. I'm not here to have the Paolo France debate because
I'm here for it.
I've given my opinion on the Paolo France thing. I said last season I think France was the better player. I think ever since Paolo's been there, I think France has been their best player. This season, I think Paolo started the season. If that was legitimate growth, I think that was Paolo's evolution to being the best player on the team because I think Paolo has the highest ceiling. But I also want, in my opinion, and I've always been of this opinion, Paolo's box score numbers. The last year he averaged 23, 7, and 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a product of him having the ball as much as he did.
Sure.
In my opinion. And I think Franz being elevated into that role now and putting up those numbers. I think he's averaging 26, 6 and 6 since Paolo's been out.
29 actually.
Is a byproduct of having the ball in his hands more. And this is why I say numbers you're capable of putting up aren't indicative of how good you actually are. Like Paolo is good enough to average 27, 7, 6 or whatever. France is good enough to average 27, 7, and 6. That doesn't mean one is better than the other. It's not about what numbers they put up. It's about how they impact the game and those things. And I think France has just shown that he was capable of doing more than what people saw from him last year. He's capable of doing very, very good things. But once again, this is an Orlando team that thrives on being an elite defense. They are still not good offensively. They still aren't. So, yes, they have France putting up numbers now in Paolo's absence, and they have Paolo putting up numbers when he was there. They still aren't a good offensive team. They are a great defensive team. I think they're the second best defense in the league. That's where their bread is buttered. So I'm always going to say, I think people overvalue the great numbers on a bad offensive team as if that's the most valuable thing in the world. I don't think it is. I think so. That's my stance on that.
Do you call up Brooklyn and ask for Cam Thomas for Cole Anthony?
I'm asking for Cam Johnson before I ask for Cam Thomas.
Thank you.
I'm asking for Cam Johnson. I wouldn't ask for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Because they got a fire sale going on up there in Brooklyn. Let's make sure we clear on that. They got a fire sale going on.
I want the Lakers to get DFS. I want DFS.
You can get Ben Simmons. We had 10 points last night. We had 10 points. Who said we weren't going to score double digits? We had 10. I'm just saying we had 10. Someone said we weren't going to get double digits, but we're not going to get into that. We got super chats. ZBT became a member. Shout out to ZBT.
Word.
And then we got a few more super chats. I'm just saying, look how easily I'm getting through these super chats. It's normally a struggle when the other person's hosting. I'm just saying. Desamo said, push off privileged Paul George is better than SGA.
Push off privilege?
I don't know who he's talking about.
Push off Paul George. That's what we're talking about.
No,
is he?
I think he's talking about Tatum because he did have that push off last night.
Push off privilege?
Push off privilege Paul George's. Oh, okay. So you're saying Jayson Tatum's better than SGA. Okay.
I thought SGA was push off privilege as Paul.
Nah,
George.
he's
and since we on that,
he's the Modernism of PR. That's what he is. He's the Modernism of PR.
And I noticed that conversation with SGA, it kind of turned down a little bit. It's not as loud as it was a while ago. I wonder why. I wonder what's going on.
A, they lost to the Spurs, and B, he's no longer the new kid on the block. So it's like when you have the new up and coming player who elevates into that conversation, they probably get overrated a bit. Yep. And now he's died down. This is who SGA is. This is what we expect. So now he's under a bit more scrutiny, and also the fact that they are struggling without Chet Holmgren.
Really struggling. They really miss him. 100%.
Is Chet not that? I mean, is Shea not that good? I feel like it's gonna go too far the other way.
Yeah,
but I think they need Chet. That's my opinion.
Which is kind of interesting because this goes back to my original logic that you can't just show up on the scene and be that dude, and then the next day not be that dude. This is why I screwed up because I let Ron. And this is my fault, 100% my fault. It's not Ron's fault. This is 100% my fault. I should know better. I got sucked into the Halliburton hype. Come to find out, maybe he isn't as good as I think he is. And I should have given I should have given him more time. But I definitely allowed myself to get sold on Halliburton being that nice. When in reality, maybe I'm not saying that Halliburton isn't one of the better league guards in the game. Maybe he ain't as good as I think he is, though. I think that might be the problem. And the reason why he's not as good as I think he is. And Ron sold me this. Chill, he'd been doing this. No, he wasn't. He wasn't doing what he was doing last year when he was 20-20, when he was 20-15. He wasn't doing that. And that's what I got sold on.
Turnovers.
That's what I got sold on. And in reality, Halliburton is probably like an 18 and 8 guy, 18 and 9 guy on average, and he needs to play it in a faster system, and he needs to play with guys that he could get them more involved in the game, and he needs guys to protect them on defense. That's probably who he is. I got sucked into he might be the next John Stockton. Like, wait a minute, yo, chill out. This dude is not that nice. No, he is not. Hell no, he is not that good. And I think the same logic goes for SGA, because there wasn't a conversation between SGA and Jayson Tatum 2 or 3 years ago. It wasn't. Now all of a sudden, last year, Jayson Tatum ain't as good as SGA. Like, wait a minute. When did he jump over him? This guy's consistently been doing this. This guy just started doing this. And then now, to Mars's point, he's no longer the new kid on the block. Like, that new car smell is gone. He's got some dust on him now. So that's probably why we're not talking about him. And I definitely got to do a better job in that. I do.
Halliburton reminds me of UCLA Lonzo Ball. That's what he reminds me of. And that's the great thing. I think UCLA Lonzo Ball was really good.
Yeah.
I just think that's what he reminds me of.
Shout out Lonzo.
Shout out to Lonzo.
He was nice in college.
Boy,
He's nice in the NBA too. Just
I was talking hot in high school, boy. I swear to God.
But yeah, that's what he reminds me of. Fast-paced point guard, extremely up-tempo, in the half court, extremely flawed, but still sees the floor extremely well. Great passer. Can shoot the three. The mid-range game isn't something he goes to a lot, but he can make it. That's more Halliburton than Lonzo. Lonzo didn't really have a mid-range game. And then he's like, in the half court, he's just not much of a scorer. Like, so that's what he reminds me of. I'm not saying he plays exactly like him. It's just that's what I get thoughts of. If Lonzo stayed fully healthy in the NBA and got given the keys, I think he'd be a Tyrese Halliburton type guy while being a substantially better defender. That's what I think he would be. But
I don't think he's the passer that I don't think I think he's a better passer than Lonzo. 100. Even if he played faster.
I don't agree with that. I ain't gonna
lie.
lie.
Lonzo be threading the needle.
I think Lonzo a better passer than Hallie.
I think he was more of a defender. I think Lonzo was more of a defender in a transition. And I'll definitely give you the transition guard. But I think he was more of a scorer in transition who could pass. I think Hallie is more of a passer in transition who could score.
But you got to work. As soon as Lonzo got the ball, he was flinging it.
He was gone.
He was playing that Pacers offense at UCLA to get the rebound straight up the court. And he was doing it while getting rebounds. Halliburton gets the outlet and pushes. Lonzo gets the rebounds and he's throwing outlets. So, like, he has that to his game. Then he also has been able to push it in transition and find guys. The ball doesn't stick. This is when he was making threes at an extreme clip too. And then in the half court, like, if he's getting to the rim, it's like he's only going to take the guaranteed ones. He's going to find guys passing. Lonzo to me is a better passer than Halliburton. But
wow,
I'm gonna be biased, so I'm just gonna.
But yeah, Lonzo is also my guy, so there's that.
Yeah.
But that's what Halliburton reminds me of. UCLA Lonzo, well, pre-injury Lonzo and stuff, and before he forgot how to shoot and then had to relearn how to shoot, all of that. So yeah, UCLA Lonzo, high school Lonzo. More super chats. We've got Pimp named Slipback. FYI from The Athletic, the asking price for Cam Johnson is 3 firsts. And then for Dorian Finney-Smith, it's one first and 1 swap. For Nick Claxton, it's 2 firsts. And then for Dennis Schroeder, it's 1 first or 3 seconds. Both classing. It's classing.
I guess he's trying to say Claxton.
But didn't they just extend Claxton for 4 years?
Yes, they did. 100 million.
So I don't think he has. Declining salaries, not expiring. Both Claxton and Cam Johnson have cheap and declining salaries too. Yeah, I think contenders have to go after Cam Johnson and Nicholas Claxton. I think you have to. Dorian Finney-Smith too. If the asking price is a first and a swap, I don't know if I want to pay that much. But yeah, and then Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, for 3 seconds, Dennis Schroeder. That'll be a great pickup.
100%.
So, yeah. Shout out to the Nets. They realized we're winning too much. And they won again last night. Ben Simmons 10 points. You're welcome. But yeah.
Who do I like Nick Claxton on in terms of a contender? Does he help the Warriors?
I love him with Milwaukee. I like him with Milwaukee a lot.
I don't think the 5. Well, if he moves up, so now if he's on Milwaukee, first of all, your 5-man is a stretch big. That's a huge part of their offense. You take that guy off the floor, and now what do you have in terms of a stretch big? Now you're turning into a defensive unit, which they need. I'm not going to argue that. They 100% are turning into a defensive unit, but you don't have that offense from that stretch big anymore. And that means that's got to be made up somewhere. Where is that going to be made up at?
I think Chris Middleton and Damian Lillard can make up.
I don't know what's going on with Chris Middleton, man. He on the Kawhi Leonard trajectory at this point. I don't know when he's gonna play. But I like Nick Claxton for the Knicks if they can get him. I don't know if they even have 2 first to trade.
There's no way that the Knicks are there. There's no way Brooklyn is dealing with the Knicks. No way.
They already did.
That's exactly why they ain't dealing with it. Exactly. And the Knicks basically.
And that was a good trade for the Nets. And that was a good trade. So why would
the Knicks gave them all their ones. What else do we have for you guys? Because I can say right now,
I don't know if they have the actual.
No, they don't.
But they might be able to trade their rookies. They could trade their rookies and be like, this is technically first round picks.
If I have a garage sale and somebody's just offering way too much money for my items, I'm gonna keep selling with them. Like if you're gonna keep offering me way more than asking price, I'm gonna keep you the first guy I'm gonna call. Like, what's up, man?
Even if I don't like you, it's like, you still benefit. I don't have to like you to understand that this is good business. So like, I get it. But if they don't have the first to actually do it, then which is understandable because they traded a bunch of picks. But like, first are just like, I mean, Pacom Daddier, who they just drafted, he's for all intents and purposes, he's a first round pick. They just drafted him 4 months ago. Like, if I give you him, I basically just gave you a first round pick. Now the difference is like you don't have
that doesn't necessarily mean I wanted him, that you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the thing you lose is the freedom of like we get to choose who we get with this pick. But like technically it's still a first round pick. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like it's not like I'm giving you Jalen Hutchifina. Like you don't like that pick could turn into a bust, the one that's random. Pacom Daddier, you can like at least see potential. Tyler Kolek, you can see what the vision is. So it's like, yeah, maybe you want him. I don't know. But I would try to get him if I was the Knicks. But I don't know. Then we've got DSG Piccolo. He's trying to get Anthony Simons off his team. He said, do they want Simons in Orlando? He wants to compete, so get him out of here. The way the Thunder playing, the operation might not resume tonight. So I'm assuming Portland play OKC tonight. But God willing, it will. But Shaden's going to get buckets. Yeah, you know, Shaden going to do Shaden things. There's nothing surprising about that. But yeah, I would get Anthony Simons out of Portland as soon as possible. I don't know if Orlando is the right spot. Well, they do need offense, and they can probably afford his lack of defense. But yeah, Simons has to go somewhere in my opinion.
I'm actually fine with, and I think I said this to you yesterday, barring health, from the small sample size that I've seen with Shaden Sharp, I'm down to build this backcourt around Shaden and Scoot. I'm down to do that.
Oh, so now you locked in on Shaden. Okay,
I'm down to build. I'm down to build this. I'm down to build this backcourt around Shaden and Scoot. Yes, I am. And I got my 5-man in Klingen. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm not willing to have a fire sale though, but there are some things that I'm willing to move off of. I'm down to move off of Robert Williams. I'm down to move off of Simons because, I mean, I think they've won. I think they won their last 3 games. You know, 2 games under 500, so they are competing. So without Ayton in the lineup, we may be on the right track with doing something. Even though Ayton, I still think is effective. I watched him play against San Antonio, and Ayton is effective around the rim. Ayton is effective in the mid post. I just don't think he's effective for this unit. And I think that you could get a 1 for him. I think you can get a 1 for a top 5, top 10 rebounder in the league and a double-double guy. 100%. 20.
Did you say Jeremy Grant too?
Yes, sir. Jeremy Grant too. Yep. So Jeremy Grant, Simons, Ayton. I'm down to move off of them. Robbie Williams too. Yep.
I think that's a must. I think they have to get at least those 3. Simons, Grant, and Ayton. I think they have to get rid of those 3. Like, especially, I think Ayton has value for, like you said, for another team. So I think they can get a lot in return for those 3, and Robert Williams as well. But like I said, I'm against just giving Robert Williams away. They got to make these teams bid for him because he can do a lot for somebody. So those 4 in particular, I think Portland is actually in a privileged position right now. They have no expectations, and they got a lot of pieces. So
Jeremy Grant gonna be hard to move, but other than that, yeah. He's making 36 million till 2028. That's why.
Yeah, Dame had them pay.
That's gonna be peanuts in 2 years, Mars. In 3 years
for Jeremy Grant. No team trying to pay. No team trying to pay. 36 million is 36 million. I don't know what to say. Jeremy Grant's really good. Jeremy Grant gonna be like, making 36 million. I don't know if a team wants that. I think Jeremy Grant's really good, Mars. I think he's cool. I think he's definitely doing too much, but I think he can provide value elsewhere. I don't know, but also shout out to Baby Dynamo in the comments. He said if he had to hear about Shaden Sharp one more time, he's going to lose it. So let's see if he lost it today because we just spoke about Shaden Sharp. So we'll see. Shout out to him. we've got Leaf Diggy with a members chat. He said we are waiting on a fire sale. He's a Nets fan. Not having one now. Chill. So I guess
not having one now, but you will. Yes, the fire sale is coming. No doubt about it.
And then
a 12-game losing streak is on its way.
And then he followed that. He followed that up by saying, "Personally, I don't think we trade anybody because our new coach has figured out how to use everybody." Thank you, Bobby. By the way, Bobby Marks. Is that his name?
Yep. Sean Marks.
So who's Bobby? Bobby Portis. Shout out to Bobby Portis. We got 6 picks in this year's draft. Having veterans around young guys is good. So he doesn't think the Nets are making trades, and he thinks this is.
He said their new coach.
But you
then
can
why, if the Nets aren't making trades, Leaf,
Okay.
if the Nets aren't making trades, why have they made all of these guys available?
It's fake reports. It's trying to.
It's not. They
the asking
definitely
price on these guys is going to be pretty high come trade deadline.
Yes.
People are going to be willing to spend.
Cam Johnson is good. There's going to be a bidding war for Cam Johnson. I promise that. There's going to be a bidding war for Cam Johnson. I can.
Mars, there's going to be a bit. And you just said that. I need to hear more about this. What does Cam Johnson bring to? I don't know. Let's say the Knicks. Let's say I'm thinking about a team that's a playoff team. Because you said there's gonna be a bidding war for Cam Johnson. So what does he bring to a team like Milwaukee? What does he bring to Denver?
Ooh, Denver would be nice. He brings elite, consistent shooting off the move and off the catch. He brings high level connected passing without taking too many risks and turning the ball over. He brings some level of defensive switchability. He's not a mismatch. He brings great size at 6'8". He brings everything a role player would want, and his contract is movable and it's not too much. I believe Cam Johnson is making about 20 million, which is great value for a guy with his skill set. Someone who can put the ball on the floor if needed, attack a closeout, someone who can make extra passes, someone who shoots at an elite level. He basically is like the perfect modern day role player. You put him next to superstars, you put him next to Jokic, you put him on the Knicks, you put him in those type of situations. He's going to be extremely valuable for a cheap price. So all contenders are going to want Cam Johnson. All teams are going to want Cam Johnson.
That was my next question to you. What is it going to cost to get Cam Johnson on Denver? Does 2 ones do it? Does a 1 and because I ain't moving off of Christian Brown. No, I'm not. I'm not moving off of Christian Brown.
I mean, Pimp Named Slipback said it was 3 ones. That's their asking price, but their asking price doesn't mean that's what they're going to get. But that's what they're starting the bidding at. They said they want to start it with 3 first-round picks. I think you get Cam Johnson for 3 first-round picks and you're a contender. That's great value considering your first-round picks are probably going to be quite low in the first rounds because you're a contender. Like it's wide open for OKC to go get Cam Johnson. That's what I'm hearing right now. If they only want 3 first-round picks, OKC make the call, get Cam Johnson. That's a great extra wing, extra size at 6'8", more shooting. I think OKC have to go get Cam Johnson. I think that's perfect for them. They have the pieces. It's not going to take away from their rotation, and you add someone who's extremely valuable and has playoff experience and has been to the finals and is a veteran. Like, it's perfect for them. So I think Cam Johnson, a lot of teams are going to want him, and especially if it's only 3 first-round picks. That's what I would do. But I don't know. But yeah, Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton to me are the most valuable.
That's why I think the bidding war is going to be for Nick Claxton, because I think a guy like Nick Claxton, who, for all intents and purposes, teams need guys who can rebound and defend. They definitely need that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers picked up the telephone and checked Brooklyn's temperature on Nick Claxton. But he might be a little bit too expensive for them because they're already close to the tier 2 and that second apron. And so I don't think that would work. I actually like him in Houston with you guys.
I love him in Houston.
I like him in Houston with you guys at the backup 5. I think he signed a 4-year deal for $100 million. So that $20 million, that $20 million is a real bargain. I like him in Atlanta too. I love him and Trae Young because him and Dennis Schroeder, that combination looks really good. So him and Trae Young together, that's looking even better. Plus better defense. Yeah, I do like him in Atlanta. I think it's going to cost 2 ones for Nick Claxton at minimum.
I think that's what they said, 2 ones. Yeah, if we could get Claxton in Houston, I'd love it.
Yes.
We want to switch everything. Claxton can switch. He rim protects, he rebounds, he runs the floor. We don't have an athletic center on the roster, like someone who can catch lobs and those things.
Right.
Like he provides everything that we want and everything that Ime wants defensively. So I would love him in Houston, but we will see. Andrew G, members chat, he said, "This is your king," quotation marks. My Celtics are the league.
Just so you know, this is the same dude who just 2 years ago he wanted to blow the Celtics up. Get Jayson Tatum off the
But
team.
that was Andrew G.
That's him right
Yeah,
there.
but now he's a diehard
Yeah.
Celtics fan again. So like now he
Jayson
believes
Tatum
in the
off
team.
the crew. Get Jaylen Brown is the best player on the team. Get Jayson Tatum off the. We need to trade one of these guys. And now, this is your king. Yeah.
Andrew G cannot choose what side of the fence to be on. He is straddling that
He
thing.
he playing both sides of the fence, man. That's what he does.
Because I can tell you right now.
He rides the highs and he rolls on.
That's what it is right there, Ron. That's what I got.
That's not a fan. That's a disgruntled girlfriend.
That's a front running fan, Ox. That's what that is.
Those fans are disgruntled girlfriends.
No. Ron, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I've been riding with the Kings forever. I'm a fan. I missed the playoffs for 17 seasons, Ron.
Ox, the difference is you're just used to it. I've heard you come up here and say trade DeMontis. I've heard you come up here and slant
that day. I didn't mean that.
Exactly.
No, but that's way different. That's way different though. Andrew G is daily. DeMontis Sabonis would not use his right hand for 4 months, Ron. And I was just like, bro, what are you doing?
I mean, but he
Andrew G, 1 minute.
So he got bougie habits. You know, he got bougie habits. He used to winning.
You're right. You're right. I can see that. I'm used to losing. You know, used to being used to. You know, no big deal.
He's definitely a flip flop. 1 minute, yo, we're gonna be married forever, and the next minute we getting divorced tomorrow. That's him.
For something crazy, chill.
Something dumb. Like I ain't put gas in the car.
No, not even something like that, because that could be serious. You late for work too many times because of that. That's crazy. But if you don't change the toilet paper roll or something, I'm tired of this. Like
we break it up. We break it up.
Easy.
Damn, I'm sorry, I ain't changed the toilet paper roll. My fault. We breaking up over that. That can't be the reason.
We've got super chat from OG Team. He's asking, Chill, are you from New York?
Jersey.
Close
right
enough.
on the other side of the river. If you see a picture of the New York skyline and you see the Hudson River right on the other side of the Hudson River, that's Jersey City. That's where I'm from.
There we go. We good.
Born there too.
All right, okay. You think that's a shout? Oh, they birthed John D. Ooh, well,
they birthed a goal, man.
Unlimited Z said the past 9 games the Bucks have been a top 6 defense. Thoughts? I also think they've been a horrible offense. But yeah, thoughts on the Bucks
games
defense?
Have they won, Mars? The past 9.
I think they're last.
I
9,
think they won 3 of their last 4.
I want to say they're 4-5. I want to say.
I think they won 3 of their last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me check. Last 9 games. But yeah, thoughts on the Bucks defense? Are they figuring some things out?
They are figuring some things out. One of the things they're figuring out is the effort on defense. We still switching 1s and 5s, Mars, just so you know. That's still going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. We still doing that. But I see a lot more effort on the wing. I see a lot more effort from AJ Green. Now, we do have some bonehead stuff going on, which would happen against you guys. All right, which will happen against you guys. The most bonehead play. When we come out of the huddle, Ox, Ox, who you covering? Okay, Ox, you got Giannis. Okay, Mars, who you got? Mars, you got Dame. I'm covering. Who am I covering? I'm gonna cover. Let's see. We're on defense. I'm sorry. Milwaukee's on defense. Mars, you covering Jalen Green. Ox, you're gonna cover Sengun. Yeah, Ox, you're gonna cover Sengun, right? Okay. I'm covering Tari Eason.
Me.
Right? I'm covering. Actually, Mars, you cover Van Fleet.
Yo,
because he's the guy. You cover Van Fleet. Ox, you're gonna cover Sengun. I'm gonna cover Jalen Green. JD, you're gonna cover Tari Eason. Ron, you covering who else did they have on the floor? You covering Dylan Brooks. That's your guy. All right. So Ron, we're switching foot to foot. That means when both of these guys come together and they go, we're switching. But if they go out, we stay. We're talking on defense. That's what we're doing. So there's no reason when Ron's man runs to the corner with Ron, I'm going too. There's no reason that should happen. None whatsoever. We should have communication, and we didn't have that. But we did have a lot of effort on defense, which I did like that. I 100% like that against Houston, considering I thought they did a good job on Jalen Green. I thought they did a good job on Jalen Green's pull-up game. I think they did a good job in closing out on Jalen Green. I think they did a good job on the glass dealing with Sengun, because Sengun is a monster on the glass. But I think the effort more than anything. I don't think it has anything to do with the schemes, because the scheme is still the same. I think they did a good job of more their effort.
Şengün should have caught the ball. Fred
You know why he didn't catch the ball?
Because Fred should have thrown a better pass. But
I was just about to say that. Throw the ball on the floor. He walks into a wide open layup. It's really that simple, Mars. They had a miscommunication. Throw the ball on the floor. Şengün walks into a layup. Game's over.
Then Giannis steps out of bounds.
And Giannis steps out of bounds. We should have had the ball back. We were up one. We should have won that game. We should have won that game. It's fine. I understand that we win some. We win some. We win some. We lose some. We had it right in the palm of our hands. Literally, it was right in the palm of our hands. And also, we shouldn't even been in that position. The refs made a mistake. It's cool though, because I understand. I watched that Charlotte game. The refs made a mistake that cost Milwaukee a game. So then they also made a mistake that got Milwaukee a game. So they should have gone 1-on-1, but they should have won the Charlotte game and lost to us. But because refs want to make mistakes, they were 1-on-1 in the wrong games. But it ends up hurting us. That's fine. We're gonna get our get back against Indiana tonight, hopefully. We'll see. But anyway, AD, not Anthony Davis, but AD. Said, stop lying. Embiid is 6-2 versus Joker. Do you guys watch? That's when Chill said that Jokic kills everyone. He don't kill Embiid, but Embiid don't be there for him to kill. So who cares?
I'm saying he be ducking Jokic.
Hey. He don't kill him. I don't tell you, you don't kill him. You don't kill him. He don't kill him. You don't kill him. We live to breathe.
He must not get the win to play basketball in Mile High.
We live to breathe another day. That's all I know. Rod said J Huff for most improved, and then also shout out to Kobe White. J Huff has been really nice for Memphis. I really likes what J Huff's done.
I think that award goes to Norman Powell.
Norman Powell is what the most improved player award should be, by the way.
Yeah.
None of this Victor Wembanyama
Or
Ja Morant most improved.
Mm-hmm.
Norman Powell is what a most improved player award is meant to be. That's the purity of the award. Norman Powell, someone who hasn't really shown that they were playing at that level or hasn't had the opportunity, and then they get given that opportunity and they flourish. That's the most improved player. That's what I like to see. For me, I'd probably say Christian Brown. Someone said it in the chat. Christian Brown has been great. That's the most improved player to me. But anyway, none of this Wemby stuff, that nonsense. Marcel Sansaloni says Ennis Freedom is the worst power forward defender. He was pretty bad. He was bad.
Yes, he was.
That's valid. And then Duke said Chill was kind of right on KD breaking down.
I just don't. You guys know how I feel about them calf injuries, man. You guys know how I feel about that. You guys know I don't play with the heart and I don't play with the calf, and that stuff makes me nervous. It makes me ridiculously nervous. So however long it takes for KD to get right, chill out, my man. Because we've seen this movie before. We've seen what happens when you rush back. Nah.
I'm happy. I'm happy he shut it down though.
Yes,
because for all we know, KD could probably be playing right now, but just like being super cautious because I mean, once you blow that Achilles one time, you like, well, I can't go through that again. So
hell no.
I'm happy he shut it down for sure.
Yeah, we'll be back for sure. Motaz Musa says, Mars, would a $100 super chat make you watch Attack on Titan? Send one
and find out.
And then he also says, shout out to Ox. Ron, admit you were wrong about Al Horford. Ron.
I was wrong.
Sorry.
I was wrong.
Sorry.
You was wrong about the first ballot Hall of Famer? You was wrong about the first ballot Hall of Famer?
Come on, Ron. Say it.
Damn, he's not trying to say it, man.
He did say it. Ron just said
he said I was wrong, but he didn't say I was wrong about first ballot Hall of Famer Dominican Dirt. That's what he meant to say, but he ain't say it. But it's
Ron, I was on your page. I thought Al Horford was food. I ain't gonna lie. I did. I thought he was food.
You too, Chill?
I thought he was food yesterday. Yeah.
They don't lock 10.
I thought we could go after him. And I thought we could take advantage of Al Horford. He was the weakest one of them. Clearly, he was not. I was wrong.
Wow, y'all don't respect Al Horford. It's crazy.
I don't respect. It's not that I don't respect Al Horford. It's just that he old. That's what it is more than anything.
Was last night enough for you, Chill, to realize like he still got a lot in the tank?
Last night was enough for me to suggest that he could still go. Yes, okay. He could still go.
Now, if a repeat championship, right? Let's say they repeat. Let's say basketball carries them to another repeat, right? And let's say Al Horford continues to contribute. Would you then think maybe Al Horford is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
First ballot?
The first ballot is where you're losing me. But I think it's possible he makes it, considering everything he's done.
Does he get in before guys like Horace Grant?
Al Horford is definitely a Hall of Famer. Definitely Hall of Famer. If he retired 30 minutes from now, he's a Hall of Famer.
I don't argue that. Back-to-back champion in college, All-American.
So if you go back-to-back there and then back-to-back here and contribute at this age, come on, man. We got to stop.
I think he was he a 5-time All-Star? 4-time
Yeah,
All-Star?
I think so. He made All-NBA team. He's made an all-defensive team. He's made an All-NBA team. He's won a championship. He's been an All-Star multiple times. Then obviously you got what he did at Florida.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I think it's possible he makes it. I don't think it's a guarantee.
The work he put in Atlanta, although they didn't win any rings, the work he put in Atlanta is like, let's say he never did anything at Florida and didn't win the championship last year.
That's not enough. What he did in Atlanta.
No,
that's not enough.
That's not what I'm going to say. That's not what I'm going to say. I'm just saying, but that just Atlanta alone was a hell of a career.
He got busy at Atlanta.
Was a hell of a career.
Yeah. I won't argue that. He definitely got busy in it.
Not Hall of Fame worthy. I won't say that. I won't say that. But it was a hell of a career. And then when he first got to the Celtics, I just felt like there was a resurgence in his game. And the way he was getting at Giannis and Joel when Giannis and Joel was supposed to be who they were. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it, and I will die.
A hell of a run in Boston. I will give him that. And one thing I do want to say, Ox, Al Horford looked damn good last night. Not even defensively, offensively. Smacking that three. Like this is the Al Horford we've seen. Like last night was the epitome of what we've seen since he got in Boston. Even back when he was playing with Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, like his game hasn't teetered off. We definitely don't talk about Al Horford enough, like Chris Paul, LeBron, KD, Steph, the guys that are on the latter part of their career, the guys that have had a long-ass career. And Al Horford's still keeping it running. He's still going, chill.
I'm laughing. The reason why I'm laughing, Ron, is because Al Horford's that dude on the All-Star team. Like, damn, he did make the All-Star team 6 times, didn't he? He is still on the All-Star team this year for the 5th straight year, huh? That's that dude. He damn sure is that. He's the dude. He ain't, and he's not hanging around neither, Ron. Like, he's not one of them dudes that's just hanging around. He's productive.
No, he's not riding nobody coattails here.
No, he is not. That's not going on, Ox. He is not just hanging around. Nope. He's still legit.
Shout out to Al Horford. I think he's really good. Then we've got Pimp Name Slip back again with the Nets. He said, keep in mind, if Nick Claxton goes to Atlanta, that makes things harder for the Bucks and the Knicks. We own their picks. 2 birds with 1 stone. So basically, it's not in the Nets' best interest to trade with either of those teams because you want their picks to be as good as possible. So, yeah, Nick Claxton isn't going to the Knicks. Okay. And that also rules out the Bucks. So, okay, good to know. Trade him to the Rockets. We'll help you. Then we've got Mo. He said, what's you guys' thoughts on the new City jerseys?
They're not bad. They're not bad. The Celtics are atrocious. I hate the Celtics jerseys, but the Cavs jerseys are nice. I can rock with the Cavs jerseys.
That's what they were wearing last night?
They was wearing those powder blue joints the other day. With the court, they was nice. I like those.
Okay.
Jalen said Malik Beasley for 6th man of the year. Jalen Duren for prison.
Jalen Duren for prison? What the hell?
Jalen Duren do something I don't know about?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell? Because he has not been bad. No, he hasn't. He hasn't been. He's been good. And I know for a fact, if you're a Detroit Piston fan, you better not be complaining about Jalen Duren, considering where you guys are now. When you lost almost 30 straight games, and this year, you guys, if the season ended today, y'all in the playoffs, and Jalen Duren got a lot to do with that. And you sitting up here talking about him being in prison, you might want to rephrase that.
Yeah, I don't know what it's referring to. I'm not going to speak on that.
Neither. I don't think that Malik Beasley is not the 6th man of the year over Buddy Hield, neither, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The only person that's to be,
well,
not the only person, but the only person I can think of right now that needs to be on their way to prison is Draymond Green. But
you've been filed assault and battery
for what he did to Zach Edey? Is it for what he did to Zach Edey?
He just keeps on going, Morris. He just won't stop.
And then he called Taylor Jenkins soft for complaining about it. Like, shout out to Draymond Green, man. It's like
you've been filed.
The team good as well, and he still he has to do something.
He doesn't realize how valuable he is.
He putting the team at jeopardy by trying to do nonsense. I don't get it.
Such an asshole.
Oh, so basically he just said Jalen Duren just had a horrible game against Vucevic in that last game. That's what Jalen's talking about. So he's not actually a friend.
Sometimes matchups like that, they might surprise us, but I kind of expect Vooch to get at him.
Nice this year.
I expect Vooch to get at the young fella. He's a certified vet, and I know he's had some rough times, but I've always liked Vooch's game. And I expect him to get at Jalen Duren. He should.
Speaking of getting at somebody, Mars. Okay, just so you know, Ox has been in the DA's office like 6 or 7 times about Draymond Green. Like, why haven't we filed charges against this dude? He's been in the office like 6 or 7 times. Like, yo, we need to get this dude off the streets. He dangerous.
I'm outside protesting. I'm outside the DA office protesting.
Inconclusive evidence, man.
He's been in the DA office like 3 or 4 times. This is what he did today. This is what he did last week. This is what he did 2 weeks ago. Why don't we have an arrest warrant for this guy? What's the problem?
The footage is blurry. Not enough to convict. Not enough to convict. I don't know what to tell you.
No. I got hard evidence. It's not circumstantial. I got physical evidence.
In 4K.
We got, we got him on tape. That's him right there.
Man, you know how AI be these days, man. We need something more. That's what we need. No Cap Prince is looking out for Ron. He's asking if we put Ron on punishment. Ron, you on punishment? He just taking a day off. You know, I got this. I'm down to the last super chat, and we got 33 minutes left. This is how you host the show, guys. But the final super chat we have right now is Hunter saying, "Shout out to Russ for triple double number 200." I did want to talk about this. First player in NBA history of 200 triple doubles in a regular season. I think that's a big deal. I've been waiting for it to happen. And I was glad he was able to get it last night. He was 1 rebound away. They got him back in the game, got him his rebound. That was great. But I want to ask Ron, because Ron is the Russell Westbrook guy. Do you feel any type of way about Russ's 200 triple double? It's just,
I mean, it's a dope ass milestone. I mean, like, you were kind of the one who really put me up on this, Mars. Like, we get so caught up on numbers. Like, 100 is just a grand number. 200 is a grand number. 99 triple doubles would have been fire. 199 triple doubles was fire. When he got his 175th or 77th. So, like, he been the triple double king, and he been doing this. So, like, one more triple double, it doesn't necessarily, like, to me mean anything more. But it just kind of, I'm glad that it just puts people on notice and just reminds people that Russ really does this off the bench with no Jokic, comes in and turns up, 14 assists. Like, this is just Russell Westbrook. And so that's just that.
Yeah, so he's now 19 clear of Oscar Robertson in first place. Is his record going to stand, or is someone going to come and take it?
Jokic is on his case.
Jokic is 64 behind.
Yeah, I think 136.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of was doing the math. If Jokic gets, how many does he average a season? Probably 20.
Probably like 20, 25-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest is.
So Russ got about 3 years. Russ got about 3 years until that record broke.
That's getting cleaned up.
Unless he just go on one like right now and Russ play. Let's say Russ plays 2 more seasons. Russ could extend it a little bit.
He'll probably finish with 220.
20. Russ is in the last like 3 seasons. Russ has got like 3 triple doubles. He's not getting triple doubles like that anymore. Mainly because of the minutes. But
210.
Yeah, I think Russ probably gonna get to it. Maybe if Russ can get to 205, I'll be surprised. I think he's probably gonna be at like 202, 203. Personally,
shout out Russ.
But
and all this
Luka Doncic is at 77. He's 25. Does Luka have a shot?
Yes.
No, he does not. He's not. He doesn't take care of himself good enough.
Okay.
Luka for sure got action. Luka, how old is Luka?
25.
25.
Come on.
By the time Luka's 31, he's gonna look 38, bro.
In 6 years, he can't get 123 triple doubles.
He might. Let me not just kill it. I don't think so. I don't like it.
That's 20 triple doubles. That's 20 triple doubles a season. Mm-hmm. Is that ridiculous to think that he could do that?
I don't.
That's probably 1 out of every 5 games or so.
Luka over his career averages
1 in
triple
4.
double.
1 in 4.
And I know, like, averaging a triple double doesn't mean that you're going to get a triple double, but if his assists are always going to be high and his rebounds are always going to be high, and he's always going to score double digits. Like, he got.
But what seasons were his highest like triple double years though? That's what I'm curious about, because we can see like young Luka throughout the years. You could just see his body, his everything changing.
Last year he had 21.
Okay.
This year he doesn't have one yet though.
But the year before that he had 10.
Okay.
The year before that he had 10.
So last year was his highest year?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm
fire,
looking.
okay.
I doubt he got more in his second year, but maybe
He,
17, 17 in year 2. Shout out to him.
Mm.
But yeah, 21 is the most he's ever got. 21 is the most he's ever got.
Well, I mean, based on that, I mean, the numbers say opposite of what I'm saying. So, you know, who you gonna trust, right? You know, me or the numbers? You know, obviously.
Last year, Jokic had 25. Last year, I think Sabonis had like 30. I think.
Oh, that's
I know
nothing.
Sabonis-
That's just another day in the office, more.
Sabonis is at 61, I think. Sabonis is at 61, I think. I'm not going to ask if Sabonis has a shot, but can Sabonis get to 100? Can Sabonis get to 100?
I think he get to 100. I don't think he has any chance to get to 200 though. Not
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of 19, 12, and 11 games. You know, or 22.
What is the month? 20, 28,
He
27?
came in the league in 2016. He was a freshman at Gonzaga, right?
Yeah, I believe
So,
so.
I believe he's at 28, I think.
28. Yeah. I definitely don't think he's gonna get 200.
He
But
just
I'm
passed Larry
sure
Bird in triple doubles. He's now 10th full time. So
he should get 100. He'll definitely get 100 easy, but I don't think 200.
yeah. So the top 10 all time in triple doubles: Russell Westbrook, number 1, 200. Oscar Robertson, number 2, 181. Then there's a large gap down to 3. Magic Johnson, 138. Jokic is right behind Magic. He's going to pass him this season. He's at 136. LeBron is 117. Jason Kidd is 107. And that's the 100 club. Just those 6 guys. They're the only 6 with more than 100. Wilt Chamberlain always shows up. He's at 78, tied with James Harden at 78. Luka has 77, so it's only a matter of time until he passes those 2. And then Domantas Sabonis closes out the top 10 with 61. And then Larry Bird and Giannis are 11 and 12.
Russ is so damn weird, man. I mean, what the hell are we going to do about this guy, yo? Like the numbers that he has, 25,000 points, 10,000 assists, 200 triple-doubles. He a 9-time All-Pro. Like the stuff with Russ, it just doesn't make – and it's going to get goofier if he wins a championship. Because now the conversation is going to be even different.
Russ is an all-time great.
He is, but it's just weird. It's just weird with Russ. If you look at his resume, everything he did, winning a league MVP, averaging a triple double 4 times in 5 years, over 200 triple doubles. Give me a break, man. Like, what the hell with this guy? I really don't know.
He is 454 assists away from 10,000. So he's probably going to happen. That's probably going to get to 10,000 assists.
How many assists?
454.
So he's probably going to get.
Last
year, for reference, last year he had 300 assists.
Okay,
and it's more than likely he's going to get.
It's not like he's retiring after this year.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So and on top of that, Ox. So we clear, Ox. If he gets to this feat, there's only one other dude behind that velvet rope. That's James. Yeah. That's it. Ain't nobody else behind the 25,000 point, 10,000 assist club. James.
What about boards? Where's he at with the boards?
The boards, he is 1,635 away from 10,000. That's a lot less likely. That's a lot less likely. Last year, for reference, he had 340 rebounds. He had 340 rebounds.
Right.
But at that pace, he's gonna have to play like 6-7 more years.
Come on, Russ. Get on the glass, baby.
Yeah, so
clean that glass, man.
Hey, that would be
the rebounds is looking unlikely. The rebounds is looking unlikely, but he's gonna be 26,000, 10,000 assists, 9,000 dish rebounds. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to Russell Westbrook.
Since we are talking numbers and records, I just want to just speak on something that I knew. Like I knew this, but when I saw the numbers, it's just mind-boggling. James Harden is number 2 in threes, and Steph almost got 1,000 more than him.
Not even close, right? Not even close.
And
he's gonna play 3 or 4 more years too, about it. And he's gonna play 3 more years too on top of 3-4 more years.
God, bro, this dude is ridiculous, bro.
Yes.
So more untouchable. Steph's 3-point record or bronze?
Bronze. Steph is going to be passed. And that's not a knock on Steph.
I don't know.
Steph came into the league only shooting about 5 a game. We are at some point we are gonna have a shooter who comes in, isn't as good a shooter as Steph, but comes in launching 10 threes a game.
Yeah, comes in. You got like a 5-6 year window where Steph was lights out.
They'll probably 402.
That window is still going.
Yeah, he's still leading the league in every year Steph's healthy. I think he leads the league in threes.
Facts. Keegan Murray might do it. That's right.
But the issue is just guys are gonna get the early part of Steph's career where he was dealing with the injuries and he wasn't shooting as many. That's where people are going to catch up. For what it's worth, Buddy Hield is already 20th of all time. And Buddy Hield came into the league at 23 years old. Now imagine there's a freshman who comes in, shooting threes like Buddy Hield, plays a long time. They're going to catch Steph. Not because they're a better shooter than Steph, just the longevity part. You ain't catching LeBron. You aren't catching LeBron.
Steph might have four seasons in him, or just four only seasons.
I think Steph gonna get to about 4,500, 4.8.
Yeah, that's what
I still think that will probably get caught though. I think someone will make 4.8 at some point.
I mean,
no one's getting
40,000. He just make 9 last night.
But
no one is getting
23 though. 20, he came in last.
That's true.
This is my thing. I just want to say this right now. When we get to the point where they're shooting like this, I just want y'all to know I'm done with the NBA.
You out, Ox?
Chill. I can't watch that. When nobody touches the paint and they're just running around, just throwing stuff up. Like, it might be exciting for y'all, and y'all keep up with it. Shout out to the NBA, but I'm off of that.
Damn.
The youngest player to hit 1,000 threes is Luka. He was the youngest player to hit 1,000. Luka Doncic right now, as 25 years old. Let's see how many threes Luka's hit. Because like Luka's obviously not as good a shooter as Steph, but he'd be launching them. And he is at 1,200. So he's still quite a ways away. But considering he's only 25, like if I were to check him versus Steph at 25, I know he'd be substantially further ahead. But then is he going to be able to hit the ceiling that Steph did of 400 and 300 year after year? That's the question. But when Steph was 25, let's see when Steph was 25.
How many does Luka make per year? Hold on, let me see.
About 200. When Steph was 25, he had 900 threes. So Luka's 300 threes ahead of Steph at the same age. That's
300.
pretty.
Now the question is,
that's a season of threes.
Sure, Mars. Here's the difference. Steph Curry, I think, what do we in year 16 now? He showed up in 09, so we're in year 16. He's going to play. I think if I had to guess off the top of my head, I think Steph's going to play at minimum 2-3 more years. I think he's going to play. With that being said, is Luka going to be around for 15 to 20 years? You think Luka going to hold up that long?
That's why I don't think. I think Luka probably isn't the right one. I'm just using that for reference of someone who makes a lot of threes by the young age. If they can have longevity, they can do it. But in terms of like the peaks, I don't know, because every season, Steph has played more than 60 games since like he became Steph. So 2013, he's led the league in threes made, except 1 year, and that was the year James Harden led the league in threes, and Steph was like 20 behind him. Every single year. So 2013, 272, 2014, 261, 286, 402, 324. Then the next time he plays 60, 354. Then the next time he plays 60, 337, 285. And then last year, 357. Like he was 35 making 363. So like no one's going to do what Steph did at that level, but over longevity, I think is possible. Whereas 40,000, you're not doing that. 40,000.
That's why I want to play this for you. I want to play this for you guys because I want you guys to hear this. I don't know if you can hear it, but I want you guys to hear this so you can understand how ridiculous what Steph Curry is. What Steph Curry is doing.
We're near the 4,000 mark we're talking.
I can't hear it. I don't know if you guys can.
It sounds like muffled.
Yeah.
If you if you send it to Ron or something, I think Ron can put it on the screen.
Maybe I'll do that. I'll send that to Ron and see if that'll work. Let's see.
While you do that, I'm gonna read some members chat. Jamal asked, "Is it time for the Pelicans to have a fire sale on the roster? The top 7 players are all out injured." I'm getting off Brandon Ingram if I could. I'm getting off everyone but Herb, Trey Murphy, Zion, and like Eve Misi and them. But everyone else, like, I'm fine with letting.
If I'm the Pelicans, I'm like, you know what? Let this be our Grizzly year. You know, they got a 1 through 4 protected pick. So whatever they can do to keep that pick and draft Kaman Malak, I'm here.
Oh, you still trying to get them the big? I mean, if Cooper's there, they're taking Cooper.
Yeah, for 100%. But if he ain't there, but got to take a big. Have to. Well,
but yeah, I mean, I think if I'm the Pels, this is a dud season. The West is too stacked. We started the season too badly. It's not meant to be. We're going to be the 14-15 seed. We've accepted that. So then it's how good can our pick be? And then do we trust Zion's health? Are we getting off of BI? How do we feel about CJ? What are we building with for next year and on? That's what I would do. I think this season is just one where you chalk it up. It's tough. All right, cool. This season just wasn't meant to be. And then we just keep it pushing. That's what I would do if I was New Orleans.
I'm getting off of Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum as quick as I can. Try to get as much back as
You holding on to Zion too?
I'm still gonna hold on.
I mean, I'll see what if someone's willing to give me crazy value for Zion.
What's crazy value, Mars? 2 ones?
2-1. Nah, I'm talking multiple firsts, a young player with high upsides. Like, if you're willing to give me crazy Zion value because you're willing to bet on his health,
Y'all dudes
I'd
are
probably do
drunk.
but I'm not trading Zion.
Y'all
just
dudes
to
are
trade.
drunk.
I'm not trading Zion.
A whole
just to
thing of
trade.
vodka in this.
Yo, B.I. and Herb Jones are the only ones off limits. Everybody else,
You can have them.
You got to give me a lot for Trey Murphy. But Herb Jones and B.I., I'm building around them too. Everybody else, get the hell out of here.
Interesting. Okay.
Did that work, Ron, or no?
Yeah. Here it goes right here. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
So I'm glad you mentioned some of these guys to get anywhere near the 4,000 mark you're talking. Damian Lillard, who is 31 years old, he would have to play 10 more seasons and average 228 threes for those 10 years. Your backcourt splash brother, Clay, 31. He would need to play 11 more seasons at 31. And the young guns, Luka, he's in his 4th season. He would need to play 15 more seasons and average 253 for those 15. Same with Trey. Trey Young, 15 seasons and average 253 to get to 4,268.
That's on top of, and just so we clear, Mars.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
That's on top of what he already doing right now, right? That's on top of what he's already doing, right? Let's take into account what he already doing. So for him to finish with 4,800 threes, close to 5,000 threes, 100% somebody's going to do that. I ain't going to be around to see it, though. No doubt. Am I going to be around to see that? No way.
I don't know. I think both of those records might end up being untouchable.
Steph's probably going to get to 4,000 this year. He's 212 away. He's probably going to hit 212.
So at the end of this season, and
he'll be at 4,000.
So what if we?
You might get to 5,000, yo.
Well, let me ask you this question. So yeah, what did you say, Miles? Yeah, 4,200 by the end of the season.
I'd give him 4,100. I think.
Okay, so 4,100, and over the next 3 years, because Ray Allen I think Ray Allen last year he had 188 threes or something like that. Steph Curry in his last season, I don't know when that is. That's probably going to be in 3 or 4 years. He could probably crack another 150 to 200 threes again. So if Steph Curry's cracking 200 threes for the next 4 years, that's 800 more long balls in addition to what he already has. That's 5,000.
He make 5,000 threes. That's tough.
I guarantee you, Steph gets 5,000. Chill. I guarantee.
Good luck.
Nobody's like
somebody do that.
Chill. I'm telling you right now, nobody's catching Steph. Nobody's catching Bron. Those records are here to stay. If they are broken, it's not going to happen.
Steph is more realistic than LeBron. No one's getting to 40,000 points. That's not happening.
40,000 plus.
No, yeah, and LeBron still
got 2 more seasons left.
LeBron at like 42,000. Like we saying 40,000. Like that was just the landmark. He's still going.
Bron might get to 50,000.
All right, no. If he gets to 50,000, he's using some. He's using some. I don't care. He gets to 50,000. He's on something. I don't care what people try and say. He's at 40,800 right now. Like,
they did something to these dudes in them Akron hospitals.
Oh yeah,
that's all I know. They did something to these dudes.
9,000 more points. Nah, I'm not hearing anyone try to tell me he's valid. Nah. That is not possible. I refuse to believe that.
Mind you, I want to say, because that super chat or that one comment that they said about me and Ron, LeBron James is the only basketball player I've ever been jealous of. That's the only basketball player in my life I've ever been jealous of is LeBron James. Because I see dude do stuff and I'm like, bro, I'm your size. How come I can't move like that?
Why can't I do that? What the hell? What you got that I don't have?
And mind you, I'm not clumsy. I'm agile. I can move. I move good. But I see this dude. I'm like, God.
Why can't I do that? How come you can do that and I can't do that? What the hell?
Oh man.
Shout out to LeBron, man. He pretty good. But the final super chat. No Strays ENT said the Celtics don't win banner 18 without Al Horford. He's definitely a Hall of Famer just based on how he adjusted his game over time, and he has Peyton Pritchard for 6th man of the year. Yeah, I think Al Horford has a shot. I just don't think it's a guarantee. But I've been consistent. I think that 2018 Boston team that made the conference finals without Kyrie, I think Al Horford was their best player. Like, I know everyone gives credit to like Jayson Tatum or Terry Rozier or Jaylen Brown or whoever. I think Al Horford was their best player. So I
I'm
think that's
dying on
pretty
this hill,
cool.
Mars. If they don't run into the Cavs in 15, the Atlanta Hawks going to the finals. I'm dying on that hill. I will die on that hill. They go into the NBA finals if they don't run into James.
They're going to the
Yeah,
finals
a
again.
lot
They
of
neck
people.
broke.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. They get to the finals. That's what that matters, right?
They
Get into the
ran into
finals.
James. I will die on that hill. They just ran into James. That was the problem. They're a lot closer than people thought.
story
That,
at
and
least
you
for
know
like
how I feel
10
about
years.
getting swept. But James was just
Yeah, that's just the life of the Eastern Conference. If you
Yes.
run on a LeBron James team,
that was it.
hey, let's see
James
how
was
far
just
you can
that
go
good.
before. Let's see how far you can avoid
Yeah,
LeBron for.
Let's see if you
That's
can
what
get
it
on
was.
the other side of the LeBron bracket. Let's see if
Right.
you
You
can get
may-
one and he can get two.
Now that's why I be like, oh, you guys praise the Pacers for making the conference finals. All that says to me, you were on the other side of the LeBron bracket. That's all I'm hearing. Like, it's not like, oh, we got to the conference final. No, you just didn't play LeBron in the first two
That
rounds.
was it. That's all it
But,
was.
like,
You
they
avoided
did-
him.
they
Same thing we
I'm
said
trying
about
to tell you right now.
Bulls, Pacers.
When the Knicks lost to Indiana, if J.R. Smith just could have hit the side of a barn against Indiana, Melo was about to whoop them boys. Melo had something. Melo had something for them boys. Telling you. I'm telling you, Melo was ready for that.
Is that the year Melo gave the Heat 60?
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably. It was around that time. I know. What year was that? That was 13. That was 13, right?
13,
That was
yeah.
13 when that was 13.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith could not hit the side of a barn against
50,
Indiana.
my fault, 50.
Mhm.
Yeah, bro,
But
he was,
I think he said. I think Melo said he was mad that the big three weren't playing. They were load managing for the postseason, so he just gave the Heat 50. Shout out to Melo. But yeah, I'm done with super chats with 13 minutes to spare.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. Ron. Yes,
See,
sir.
Mars,
we started the show 11 minutes late.
Mars, I'm gonna tell you like
So-
this, Mars. This the problem. Look, when you get on like it's like certain type of jobs, warehouse jobs or whatever. The old heads at the job, Mars, they gonna hem you up in the corner like, Mars, you working too fast. I need this overtime. Like, what are you doing?
I mean,
Hey,
it's
Mars,
best
I
to
need this
finish
overtime, man. What are you
early than
doing?
over. Ron be having me stay here 20 minutes after the fact.
Well,
Like,
y'all, it's been an amazing show. It looks like we're gonna get up out of here early, but
Not
it
yet.
was great.
Not yet.
It
Nuh-uh.
was
We still
fun,
got.
brother.
We
We don't have
still,
no more work to do.
We still. Yes, we do. And let me tell you why we got some more work to
You
do.
loading these trucks
Because
too fast, chill.
we yes, we do. So you guys yesterday, y'all told me, right? Y'all told me that y'all liked what Tyrese Maxey did. And I did too. I absolutely did too. I like what he did. The question that we now have is, what does this mean for Joel Embiid? Can Joel Embiid clean this whole thing up?
I think
Can he make this better? What can he do to make this better? Because for what Maxey did, and by the way, Ox, the reason why this thing got out, the same reason why it got out, the video got out with the Golden State Warriors. The same reason why, because whoever works for the 76ers, whoever worked for the Warriors, they sick of Draymond ass. And they want everybody to see what type of dude he is. And whoever leaked this in Philadelphia, they sick of Joel Embiid ass. This been going on for however long it's been going on, and they sick of him. And they want everybody to know this is why we sick of him. This is why I'm sick of him. This dude late for planes. This dude is late for meetings. This dude late for practice. This dude late for games. He late for everything. And this been going on forever, and don't nobody around here say nothing about it. Nobody. So you know what? I want everybody out here to know this is what this dude is doing out here. How can Joel Embiid clean this up?
Sure,
And clean it up the right way.
They're upset with him. Not only that, because he went to the Olympics too. I think that is a big issue. I cannot see that not being a problem amongst the players in the locker room. Like, bro, this dude was out there running around the Olympics and he couldn't. He just got here. He can't hardly move. I don't know who's responsible for it, Chill, but I agree with you. I think they are getting to that last straw with Joel Embiid.
I think they've had it with him.
As amazing as he is when he's healthy.
Yeah, we can't sit here and say he's not amazing when he's healthy because he's one of the best players in the league when he is. But I think the 76ers they've put enough talent around Embiid to where they can go make a run. It's just he's always been the last line of what they need to be successful, and that's his health or that's how he plays. When we look at some of the teams that's been put around Joel Embiid, we're like, this team could have went to the finals, or this team could have definitely went to a conference final.
No business losing to Atlanta.
But
none. They had no business losing
none at
to
all.
them.
None at all. But I don't necessarily think that was on Joel Embiid. But either way, they still had a team around him to where they could get to the conference finals, get to the finals, and every single year they just keep falling short. And now that he's the face of the franchise, he's the best player, and he's constantly showing up late. He's not engaged, and he hasn't been playing well to start out. Now, I do think he will play better, but that could really frustrate a team. That could frustrate someone like Tyrese Maxey, who's going out there every day and who has had to play so much minutes without his best player. And now we have young guys on the team like Jared McCain, like Ricky Council, and like all these other players that you're setting a bad example for. And I didn't really think Tyrese Maxey was this type of player, to be completely honest. I didn't think I would hear that from him, or just hear him being so young and him calling out the best player and him being comfortable enough to do that, because there are some young players who just, I'm not really going to say anything. I'm just going to keep my mouth quiet. This guy's the best player. If I speak up, I might get traded. Things like that.
Well, first and foremost, number one, that ain't the first time he got on Joel Embiid. Let's be clear about that. I'm sure that this ain't the first time that happened. I'm sure it's been something that's been brewing between them. That's number one. Number two, Tyrese Maxey has been in the league. What are we in, year 5 now? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been around for a while. So I've developed enough cachet, making the All-Star team, being the most improved player. I've developed enough that if something's going on around here, I can say something about it. Now, for some people to say something to the best player, that might be a little bit of a stretch. If you remember what was going on with Bryant and Shaq, that happened when Bryant was in year 5. Right? That happened when Bryant was in year 5. Y'all dudes think that I'm Scottie Pippen. Y'all dudes think that I'm just the number 2. I'm better than that. And I want to show that I'm better than that. The whole thing boiled over. These guys started getting into it when they got into it, and it turned into something else. But they ended up recovering from it because they recognized what the common goal is. Joel Embiid could very much be like, if you ever seen the movie with Will Smith, Hancock, when Will Smith gets in front of the cameras as Hancock and goes, my fellow Los Angeles, listen, I got to do better. I need to hold myself more accountable. I need to do better. That can end this. Joel Embiid doesn't have to get in front of the camera and tell everybody, well, I've been going through this, I've been going through that. Nope, what I'm doing isn't good enough, and I got to be better, and I will. That will end this. Because people in Philadelphia, they don't want to hear the fact that you have been hurt. They don't want to hear that you have been dealing with what you've been dealing with. Bring your ass to work, show up on time, and get the job done. That's all they care about.
Control what you can control. Embiid can control being on time. He can control being a good leader. He can control those things. Can he control how his knee feels? Probably not.
No.
Can he control how injured he is? Maybe you could ask him to lose weight and do those things, which he's done. Maybe. But in terms of that, some things are just out of your control. But he can control how he leads. He can control the example he sets, and he can control showing up on time. So ideally, he should have been doing that. But if it takes this to make him start doing that, that's great. And if it takes Tyrese Maxey being the one to stand up to Joel and tell him that this is what, like, he's setting a bad example, that's great. That's what you need. You need that level of accountability in the team. I think that's great. But hopefully Joel Embiid takes it and doesn't take it as a slight against him, and takes it as the opposite of, you're so good, people look up to you. That's what it should be. That's how he should take it, ideally. But maybe he takes it as, why is this guy talking to me like that? I doubt he would, because from everything I've heard, Tyrese Maxey and Joel have a really good relationship. And I think that's what made Tyrese Maxey comfortable to be able to say that to Joel, which is, I think that's really good. But yeah, he does have to be better. And I think he knows he has to be better on the court and off the court. And
we do work together.
Hopefully he will.
100% we do work together. But if we work together, but we're also friends, we developed a personal relationship. And I'm pretty sure that Tyrese Maxey sees who Joel Embiid is on a daily basis. He sees him every day. Now, there are some guys who've had close relationships. Like, if we being honest, Shaq and Kobe weren't friends. That wasn't going on. They were not friends, but they were colleagues. They did work together, right? And in the process of them working together, Bryant saw him every day. Tyrese Maxey sees Joel Embiid every day, but I'd like to think that they have I like to think that they have a different kind of relationship. Younger guys, they might hang out every once in a while. So with that being said, I should be able, if you're my man, I should be able to let you know, yo, John, you had a line, yo. This is not okay. Especially if we trying to go somewhere. Yo, this is not okay. And even if you are the man and I look past it a couple of times, at some point, we have to put it out there. Yo, this isn't good enough. And you got to get better. And if you don't get better, this is where we're going to stay. Joel Embiid is a reflection of this crew. Look at what this crew has been doing. Like, has Tyrese Maxey, has he had a history of being hurt? Like when he was at Kentucky, was that going on? How about when he got to Philly? Like, was he pretty durable when he got to Philly? Yeah, so now all of a sudden, like, he's breaking down. I think that, to be honest with you, I think Joel Embiid and who he is has a lot to do with that. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, Mars, is because I remember Kyrie Irving, and I want you to feel me on this. Kyrie Irving, when he was in Cleveland, Kyrie Irving, that year he played with James. That's the most he ever played with James. Previous to playing with James, he stayed hurt. He stayed beat up. He gets with James, the attitude changes. Your body changes. What you're doing changes. Now, all of a sudden, this dude is rocking, and he's on the floor. Joel Embiid, who's in and out of the lineup, he's been hurt. That's a reflection on your crew, especially considering I never really been like that. That resonates throughout the rest of the crew. I might play through injury a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying that I got to play through a broken bone in my foot or I got to do something like that. No, I ain't saying that. But there's things that I might go harder on if you were better at what you were doing than what we got going on right now.
I have a hard time saying guys get injured because their teammates are hurt, but I mean, I could see that line of thinking, especially when you see, like, I guess a correlation of some sort between guys like Kyrie and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd argue it has more to do with Tyrese Maxey's having to do more because Joel's not there, which ultimately then leads to him being hurt. But I wouldn't say it's because Joel sets a bad example. I would say it's because he has to hold a heavier burden. Same thing with Kyrie. Kyrie had to do more in the years pre-LeBron and post-LeBron, so injuries more common. That's the argument I would probably make. But a few more super chats and then we can get out of here. Ox left us early. But Zero just vibing said, keep cooking, Ron. I don't know what show he watching.
Ron, what you cooking on? What show was he watching that Ron was cooking?
Yeah, I don't know what he was watching. I don't know what he was watching, but
what are you cooking on, Ron?
Zero, we know. Me and Zero locked in. I got you, Zero.
Okay.
No, here we go.
But then
I got my chef hat on.
On the complete opposite ends of the spectrum, we got Realist123 saying Ron is doing his best Halley at the Olympics act.
100%.
That one I see. I resonate with that one more. That's definitely
not Halley.
Tatum.
I knew he was.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
I did.
Put some respect on me.
I did know that, even though Halley was definitely.
Nah, but Tatum meant to be a top 3 player in the world. But Void Century then asked us to talk about the goddamn Miami Heat. I mean, sending that with not much time to spare. I think we could talk about the Miami Heat tomorrow, Friday, whenever they next play. We could talk about them because we haven't really said too much about Miami other than how we're disappointed in Bam.
Hasn't been too much to say about them.
But I want to say Tyler Hero's impressed me. Tyler Hero's been real nice this year. And when I made my shooting guards list, I didn't even give him an honorable mention, top 10. I was like, shout out to Tyler Hero. That's all I did. I ain't say a word about Tyler Hero, but he playing like this. My bad.
We might have to talk more about Tyler Hero.
Yeah, my bad. I apologize to Tyler.
Top 10
you got the cut.
If you want to find this top 10 list, Hoop Talk podcast on Mars Talk Sports. We're back this Sunday doing the top 10 centers in the NBA. So there we go. I'm
gonna tap into that.
Yeah, top 10 centers in the NBA. That's a big deal, man.
I want to hear the logic on who the best 5 man is.
You might not want to watch our power forward list, especially mine, because you're not gonna like where I had a certain someone. But other than that, watch the videos, man. It's great content. Final super chat, official final super chat, I believe, unless someone comes in with a buzzer beater. He said, SmoothTube said Mars being the backup host to Ron is like Jokic coming off the bench for Dario Saric.
I think Mars. I think Ron better than Sarge. 100% he is.
Yeah, man. Sarge got the dub last night.
It's like
without Jokic. Without
Jokic. I mean, no offense. I don't know how you're gonna take this, John D, but we might need John D to come off the bench like Westbrook. But Sarge got the.
We already know how you feel, Ron.
Better man of the team. I'll come off the bench and be the best bench player in the league.
I mean,
that's the mindset we need. That's the mindset we need. Don't take being on the bench as a slight. Come in and be the best bench player we ever seen.
It's a winning culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, Westbrook is the 6th man of the year, though. So,
yeah, okay. Merry Christmas, guys.
Last night didn't help his case.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I did a great job hosting. Make sure you talk about it all in the comments. Just say L Ron Dubmar, something like that.
Garbage.
Ron won't be because L
right here. Garbage.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Chill gets to leave on time. You're welcome, Chill. Shout out to John D for being here. Mars Talk Sports on Sunday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of those good stuff. Shout out to our Hall of Fame members. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitter and X or whatever. Merry Christmas.